morning, good morning, good morning. It is indeed a beautiful day. Amidst all of what is happening, we make that declaration over ourselves, over this nation, over to everyone who is on public transportation. We make that declaration to those who are on the front line, the doctors, the nurses, the taximen who are transporting persons to work. It is indeed a beautiful day. It may be a little bit cold, but it is indeed a beautiful day because the sun is rising up from the east. It will settle in the west. It is indeed a beautiful day. So welcome to the Morning Connection with Percival Palmer, co-host, and our host, Mrs. Minett Lawrence. How are you today, my friend?
A bit chilly, as you can tell. Fully covered. The producer looks horrified. Oh my
I
gosh.
wonder what is happening. I thought this morning I said that you had gone for an early morning run, and then you got up and you said, "Oh, it's time." They just
Yes, I'm
came
cold.
down quickly.
Yeah, but I do echo your greeting to those who have joined us on radio, on the chat. You know, we stream live on just about every platform that is available, and we are grateful for the support. This morning, well, of course, the morning is chilly. You know, it was like 21 degrees.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm cold at 23
Ooh.
degrees. So 21 was pushing it for me. I felt like I was in a North American country. Yes, I know the people who are truly in a cold country are saying
and
what
good
is
morning
wrong with
to
her.
Earl Brown, who is in cold Canada.
Yeah, and Conrad,
Yes, and,
though he
and
probably isn't up yet. I notice he's been getting up later and later these days.
too much of the Jamaican food in Conrad, so he's suffering early this morning from fooditis.
Postprandial apathy.
Yes.
Well, I can relate to that. Producer said when it's cold, you don't want to come out of your bed.
That is so true.
Yeah, but you can just tune in and stay in your blankie
In-
and share with us.
There is the tendency to want to do that in the morning. You wrote that. Oh,
Yeah, this morning I threatened. I said, could you and Percy just go it alone?
okay.
I was
That would have
feeling-
been interesting.
Yeah, I was feeling cold.
The
It
producer.
would have been fantastic.
That would
Yeah,
be a very interesting morning.
it would have been great.
Yeah, but as we move forward into the future, people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, culture is like a tree without roots. Marcus Garvey.
Oh, that one has been. We've been saying that one a bit.
But it is so
Yeah.
true because having an understanding of the past, but using that as a guidepost into the
To
future,
fuel the future.
is so important, and understanding what has happened so you don't make the same mistakes. One person said, forgetting what is behind, I press forward.
Press. So
To
that's
the
why I'm
mark
here.
of
I'm
the-
pressing.
You're pressing forward to the
pressing.
mark of
Yeah.
high calling,
I don't
which
I
pulls me
don't
forward.
only want to come out when I'm feeling great.
Yes.
I want to be present and accounted for, even when it's a bit of a challenge. So
And
this
that is
morning
a
it's a
test
bit
of
of a
character.
challenge.
And that is a test of character. When you don't feel like you want to do it, but you get up and do it anyway, because that is what gets you the real victory.
All right, so I'm in line for the real victory.
Yes, my
All right.
sister.
Before we closed the show yesterday, I made mention of our guest who's going to be in house with us on Thursday, Mr. Hugh Johnson, Deputy Prime Minister of the State of African Diaspora.
Wow.
This is a virtual state, much in keeping with scripture that speaks about the city without walls.
Come on.
The city to which all people will come, but it's a virtual city in many ways because the landmass simply cannot accommodate all those who want to come, are entitled to come, and are welcome. So we are in the age when a virtual state is entirely possible. Mr. Hugh Johnson is Deputy Prime Minister, one of the Deputy Prime Ministers. And I thank Maxine Stowe for warming up the pitch with the comments, the information she shared Thursday gone on the important position that Jamaica occupies in these arrangements for the future of people in the diaspora. So we're going to have Mr. Johnson with us. And so I want to talk a little bit about this state of African diaspora. We'll talk about that.
So it is, how do it's S-A...
SOAD.
SOAD.
State of African diaspora.
Okay.
And it's there are 5 land-based states in Africa. And this one is the 6th, and it's a virtual state. All of Africa. And
when was that created?
All right, I'm on their website, but I need to get on the internet so I can give you the dates.
Okay.
Don't worry, it is coming up.
That's so interesting.
Can you help me, please? For some reason, I'm not getting on.
Yeah, but it is, so we keep pressing.
Yeah, but you know, the story of Rasta is the story of the fight for liberation, the black man's fight for liberation.
And Marley was so important in that fight. Go to Africa. You from Jamaica? You from Jamaica?
Yeah.
You
And truly,
epitomize, yes.
everywhere you went, because I mean, in my 2 visits to Africa, you just everywhere you go, you hear reggae.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, 2 people they know, Bob Marley and Usain Bolt. Well, he's
that
the
was
next.
later thing, but you
he's
know,
the next
like
Bob
even in
Marley.
terms of liberation, struggling Africa, reggae was such a very important part of the struggle. It was the music of the struggle. Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Kenya, I haven't been to South Africa. It was interesting.
Wow.
In
So
terms
just
of
look how
music.
beautiful it is. The Royal Chamber of the State of the African Diaspora. Paris, July 2021. Press release. On July 1, 2021, on the occasion of the International Day of the African Diaspora, the Royal Chamber of State of the African Diaspora was launched.
Okay.
On this emblematic day, the Prime Minister, Dr. Louis Georges Tin, issued a decree that recalls the essential and vital role of our kings, queens, chiefs, and traditional leaders play in Africa. And as the decree explains, the Royal Chamber is created in order to strengthen the family links between Africa and the diaspora. The Royal Chamber of the State of the African Diaspora includes many organizations of kings and queens, such as the High Council Kings of Africa, the CPAC, Pan-African Council of Traditional and Customary Authorities, the Forum of Kings and Traditional Leaders, the SWAF, Southwestern African Forum Federation, the National Council of Chiefs of Zimbabwe, the National Association of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia, the House of Chiefs of Zambia, the High Council of Kings of Benin, the Union of Traditional Chiefs of Togo, the South African Royal Kingdom Organization, etc. A more complete list of the kings, queens, and chiefs who will be sitting in the Royal Chamber will be published as soon as possible on our website. And I had I tell you, everything is so orchestrated, certainly in my life, because sometime last year, I had the pleasure of being invited to participate in 1 or 2 Zoom meetings when the Queen of, I think it was, I've forgotten, I think it was Ethiopia. She was conducting like weekly sessions where she spoke on all things Africa that affect the diaspora and so on. And it was just fascinating to be a part of it, to listen in, and people from all over the world, black people from all over the world, were on this this Zoom conference, and it was just really, it was something to behold. I think it was during the month of July, which makes sense now that I see that the chamber was launched in July 2021. So I think it was a series of celebrations surrounding the launch. So we will talk a little bit about SOAD. I want Jamaicans to understand what this connection to Africa is about. And then to kick the discussion off, I have some words from Professor Rex Nettleford, just to stimulate your minds. It's time for our first break, so let's take the break and then we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. For a better choice in all your electrical supplies. A. Authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B. Better service including free island-wide delivery. C. All major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADPEM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in. Best 100 FM.
Melody in our voice. Kemisha plays the music nice. Melody in our voice. Kemisha full of vibes. Best FM run the town. Yes, I run the town. Hear me loud and clear. They run the country and the town, or the far and near. Bless the love into to Empress Kamisha on Best FM, and it's all about the reset, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on Best FM. Keep it locked. This is Warrior King, the Black Emperor. Come on, tune in.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. So we're talking about the state of the African diaspora. The acronym is SOAD, S-O-A-D. You can find it. If you Google it, you'll find it. There is much information about it. It has its own website. And you will learn all that you can about this powerful state of which you, the African Jamaican, of which you are a part. So, about the SOAD. Within the African Union, there are 6 regions: North Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, plus one last region, the 6th region, which constitutes the African diaspora. The political, economic, and cultural importance of this diaspora is increasingly recognized. It contributes greatly to the development of Africa, and this is why the African Union has symbolically included the diaspora in its organization. You may recall some weeks ago, I looked at the policy that Jamaica is itself preparing to include the Jamaican diaspora in our arrangement. So it is not at all unusual that you will find your children wherever they are and have a concern for them and an inclination to include them in what you are doing. Africa is doing the same. In 2003, at the end of the African Union Summit, the heads of state declared, "The African Union decides to recognize the African diaspora as an effective entity contributing to economic and social development of the continent." For many years, this 6th region of the African Union existed only on paper. Uncoordinated, it remained a virtual reality. It was therefore necessary to give substance to this institution and move from a de facto diaspora to a de jure diaspora. In other words, just move from being an idea in the spirit to being a reality in the natural.
In terms of coordinating and stuff.
Yeah. In 2014, Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz, president in office of the African Union, gave a mandate to Dr. Louis Georges Tin, chairperson of the French Black Coalition, to set up the African diaspora to give substance to the 6th region. You wished to attract our attention about your project that aims to give substance to the 6th region of the African Union. The interview I had with you and the information that we collected about your activities gave me the assurance of the major role your organization can play to contribute to the implementation of the programs of development of our continent. Since then, with an international team, Dr. Louis Georges Tin has formed a government and launched development projects in all areas with the support of many African authorities such as the Republic of Mauritania, the Republic of Somalia, the Pan-African Council of Traditional or Customary Authorities, the High Council of Wise Men, etc., that all support this initiative. In July 2018, during the summit of the African Union, Dr. Louis Georges Tin launched this initiative. The State of the African Diaspora was born. And there are ministers. You can find out who the ministers are because their names are listed there. And interestingly, the Lumi, which Jamaica dismissed, the Bank of Jamaica dismissed it. The Lumi is the official currency of this 6th state. The Lumi is currently being traded in several of the states in the Union.
It's a cryptocurrency?
No, it isn't. It's you remember? You have not seen it? It's a beautiful paper-based currency, but it was declared as being backed by solar energy when it was launched in Accompong, Jamaica. I think it's been largely misunderstood, and of course it was ridiculed and disparaged by the Bank of Jamaica here.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. But it's a beautifully designed currency. Could take a look at it. The Prime Minister is, of course, Dr. Louis Georges Tin. And there are several Vice Prime Ministers. Keturo Amoako is the Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Repatriation and Reparations. Hugh Johnson, the Jamaican who will be meeting with us, he is the second Vice Prime Minister. He also manages Johnson & Sons Organic Fertilizer Company Limited. He lives somewhere in, I think, St. Catherine is where he is based. And there are several other ministers. There's a Minister of Foreign Affairs. This is Kenyama Brown. Alice Nukrum is Minister of Home Affairs. Rodney Joseph is Minister of Defense. And there's one other minister, Joachim Xavier Filho, Minister of Justice. Much that you can learn by visiting the website. It is a full government. Departments are economics and technologies with a list of resource persons. Let's see what else we have here.
I know Cheryl Chong. Isn't she Jamaican?
Where is Cheryl Chong?
She looks like...
Oh, Dr. Cheryl Chong.
Yeah, I know her.
Ah, you know her. She's Minister of Family and Social Economy.
She's a Jamaican.
Well, so there are at least 2 Jamaicans that we have spotted. There might be a third. Let me see if there is information, if it's a clickable link. No. But suffice it to say, naturally, the members of the executive are citizens in the diaspora. Social and cultural issues, you can see. I invite those who are curious to go online and learn a little bit about this state, which has been specially created to capture the interests and to advocate for the interests of people in the diaspora and making that connection to our homeland, Africa. Why?
Jamaica.
Yes, this is at least 2 other Jamaicans, Dennis Phillip and Deandra Hamilton, who is the spokesperson.
Wow.
Well, as you heard Maxine say, Jamaica was meant to occupy a very high position in how Africa re-engages with her children in the diaspora. All right. I started to speak about SOAD because that is the foundation now for understanding the words of Professor Nettleford, in his essays on Caribbean cultural identity, The Case of Jamaica, words in his 1978 publication, in which he is advocating a position where we can forge a new cultural identity that is based on, well, a new identity that is based on cultural confidence. You will see that our culture, our way of living, what we believe in and how we express ourselves is at the heart of creating this identity. Professor Nettleford says, despite the legacy of a textured diversity, remember he was writing about the plural society and the impact of pluralism on forging a single nation. All these many ethnic groups fighting for space, needing to integrate to produce something that catered to the needs of all, whilst not destroying the essential character of each group. So he says, despite the legacy of this textured diversity, that diversity has up to now been allowed to exist on the terms set by the dominant master culture in the cultural complex. Yesterday we touched briefly on this issue of why it is that we will scrap at the bottom of the heap and tear down the small man, but we refuse to tackle the big ones at the top who are responsible for the hardships and the inequalities that we endure. And this is one thought that I want you to have in your mind, that we are still grappling with this dominant master culture as a part of our cultural reality. It is important to recall that for 2/3 of the time since the great waves of migration from Europe and East and West Africa into the Caribbean, the meeting of peoples from these old civilizations has been on the basis of conflict, in circumstances which rendered one set, the migrants, the Europeans, as the prescribed superordinate power over another set of migrants, the Africans, brought involuntarily and kept in a carefully nurtured captivity. The disintegration of the structural arrangements in law ensured an unprecedented control by masters over the life and limb of servants, did not immediately bring a totally new life based on a civilized relationship between men and women deemed to be of equal creative potential. And that is what Bob Marley sings about when he begs us to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. So the law dismantled slavery, but the cultural institutions and all those attitudes that went with it did not disappear overnight, because it takes some generations of time for that to disappear, and we're still weeding that out. In fact, all such potential, where manifested among the subordinate group, was hounded underground, deprived of legitimacy, and devalued. The paradox of Caribbean life is that the more things change, the more they have remained the same. The vault-like ascent by the society from slavery into freedom, and then from colonialism into constitutional independence, is yet to be matched within the society by a corresponding progress from cultural inferiority of the vast majority to cultural self-confidence. That is where we are marching to cultural self-confidence.
You know, but Marcus Garvey, even as we speak about moving to a place where we understand what needs to happen, he has a quote that says, I was quoting Booker T. Washington, he says, the race in one of his lectures, we are like crabs in a barrel that none would allow the other to climb over, but on any such attempt, all would continue to pull back into the barrel the one crab that would make the effort to climb out, referring to the statement that the gentleman says, yet those of us with vision cannot desert the race, leaving it to suffer and die. And he kept saying that in terms of we have to come together, we have to work together, we have to understand the goal that we are seeking to reach as a race, and so on. I have a book at home on the writings of Marcus
Garvey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the architects of the sixth state of the diaspora, the African diaspora, the architects of it acknowledged that the realization, the establishment of this state is as much an economic initiative as a spiritual one.
True.
Spiritual, which of course devolves into cultural experiences. And this is the idea that I want to put on the table. We, in this master culture relationship, dominant master culture relationship, we have invested in the institutions that came out of colonialism. The same fear, mistrust, skepticism, all of the negative attitudes that we had towards the master under slavery or in the immediate post-colonial state.
People.
We have transferred it to the institutions. So we mistrust government, we mistrust police, we see capital as a hostile opponent, and we don't make the connection that the people who are now occupying these positions look like us and ought to be us. So we continue in this very combative relationship to the extent where the same reluctance that we would have had to pull down the white man, we exhibit the same reluctance against the man who is at the top, because we see we envisage a kind of paternalistic relationship where he's gonna look after me, and he might not have done it ever, but one day one day crumb's gonna fall.
Yeah, right. Marcus Garvey says the dregs. Yes, I don't know about the dregs. You know, he was saying being satisfied to drink the dregs from the common will not demonstrate our fitness as a people to exist alongside of others.
There you go. So we're busy fighting each other at the bottom of the pile because we feel a sense of equality with those who are in the trenches with us. But the same kind of fear that we had reserved for the European masters, that fear is now directed at the institutions of government and institutions of the state. And because our Constitution did not imbue into its arrangements any love of people and any identity for these newly emancipated people or newly independent people, we have no connection to it. So, of course, we are on the path and we know it's going to be done. But I believe that we have to seek a better understanding of how we relate to some of these institutions so we can change.
So even the expression of Babylon.
Yes. We call the police Babylon.
Chant down Babylon.
Chant down Babylon.
It's kind of interesting that you have made that connection, because the gentleman who called yesterday and was talking about how do we deal with corruption and how we're gonna get, he was saying there needs to be a change in terms of our mentality, and we have spoken about the battlefield of the mind, that people have to change the way that they think, that they move, that they flesh out stuff, because if you use the same mindset, that believing that you're in a struggle against the white and not recognizing the struggle really is with yourself, and some people speak of it in terms of self-hate, we're not gonna overcome, we're not gonna do the things that will move us forward as a race, as Africans, in terms of achieving that people can say that we can build industries, governments, ultimately empires. Then and only then will we as a race prove to our creator and to man in general that we are fit to survive and capable of shaping our own destiny, which is again one of the quotes of Marcus Garvey. He says, great principles, great ideals know no nationality. And so we have to adopt what is important, that we can build what we need to build in order to become rich as a race, as Africans. As my friend would say, remove the Negro, the Afrocentric, calling people Negroes.
The Eurocentric,
we're Africans.
Language that we're so in love with.
Just some things that have
happened. There's an article that Lowell shared with me yesterday from the Africa Business Insider. It's 10 best African countries to invest in 2022.
I can tell you some of them. Botswana.
Which one is number one?
Botswana.
Nigeria is number one. No. most of the news that we get from Nigeria is about unrest and fraud and infighting, and who would know really that Nigeria is number one on the list. And it is not because is a list of unremarkable countries. Nigeria had a remarkable year after missing the Rand Merchant Bank list of countries to invest in 2021. The country's gross domestic product stood at $514 billion in 2021, thus emerging as the African country with the highest GDP. According to Statista, Nigeria's GDP rose by 4.03% in the third quarter of 2021. The numbers represent the fourth consecutive growth quarter, but slower growth compared to the 5.0 recorded in the second quarter of 2021. According to Trading Economics, communication, information, and services represent 10% of the total output. Agriculture, natural gas, and crude petroleum for 11%, while construction, industry, and main exports account for 16% of GDP. And Tony Elumelu, one of Africa's richest men, was in Jamaica for an event at the stock exchange. And he's returning, he says, because he's eyeing investment opportunities in the Caribbean markets. So whether we're ready for it or not, Africa is moving towards its children.
South to south.
That is a great platform for developing confidence in who we are and where we can position ourselves in the world. If America has no time for us, or Britain, or Europe, and so on,
south is where we need
south
to go.
to south. And you may ask yourself, why aren't we hearing more of this kind of talk from our Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Why aren't we hearing it from our Ministry for Trade and Investment and Agriculture, and the ministries which ought to be pursuing this relationship with a great deal more diligence than we are pursuing aid and technical cooperation arrangements with the United States? We ought to be hearing about it, but it gives credibility to the point I made earlier, that those institutions of government have been held hostage by the same colonial and Eurocentric mindset that we ought to be escaping. The second country is Egypt. Egypt is the second country. With a population of over 105 million, Egypt's economy soared by 9.8% in the first quarter of 2021-2022 fiscal year. This is all within COVID time, when everybody else is experiencing decline and recessionary type economies. Egypt grew by 9.8% in quarter one of the 2021.
So yeah,
and then the third,
South Africa.
The third is South Africa. According to Trading Economics, South Africa is the most developed country in Africa, with services representing 73% of its GDP. Now, services, not manufacturing or production of physical goods, services, which tells you that a country like Jamaica, with limited landmass and a small population, can invest in the same kinds of infrastructure that allow you to expand through a service-based economy. And it doesn't have to be just tourism. Clearly not any of the extractive
thing, which is where we need
activities.
to go.
That's where we need to go.
So you have South Africa, Algeria,
Morocco,
Kenya, Ethiopia.
Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hand unto God. Ghana, Angola,
Ivory Coast.
Rich in oil and gas resources and agricultural lands, investment risks and opportunities report in Angola suggests that the country is the second largest oil producer in Africa. According to Statista, Angola has a GDP of 66.49 billion. And then the last one is the Ivory Coast.
No, but look what it says. That it's as a GDP of 64.9 billion, and it would cross 100 billion by 2022. That's a major growth, That's adding like $34 billion
to your bottom line.
That's good. But as we are about Africa, we have the African Union.
Yes.
But just to celebrate Senegal with Sadio Mane, who won the African Nations of Cup, Nations Cup that was completed on the weekend. They beat Egypt actually in penalty shootouts.
Is that squash or football?
No, that's football. African nations, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm just betraying my ignorance.
And it was held in Senegal. So.
But the Egyptians are fantastic at squash. So Egypt definitely in my future.
Yay.
Right. Now that you know the top countries to invest in 2022, consider doing your research before investing. Consider the business environment and political factors before investing your money. Invest with knowledge.
And what is interesting, a lot of these, I was looking at the list, a lot of them are North Africa. One.
It's all over because Southern Africa is the third on the list.
Yeah, South Africa. So you have Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, that is North Africa. Then you come to Kenya, Ghana. Kenya is a lovely place.
I haven't been
there, but it has the biggest slum in the world.
And if we're lucky, Libya will come back on stream.
Yeah.
Because I think Libya still cherishes the idea of using their wealth to build a currency. But I mean, we've gone past that. Everybody else is at that same place. It is. This now would be like holding back the tide. So, African Jamaicans, black people have plenty to be confident about.
Of course, to come back up.
Yes,
remember, I tell you the vision of the man declaring, saying that with all the races, it is unbalanced because Africa has not taken its rightful place in the world. But it's coming back. And that's where the next growth.
So, this is the word of encouragement this morning that we can indeed rise up and accomplish what we will. We are a mighty race. Others of us who stayed in the homeland are making strides and are extended their hand to the diaspora. And the diaspora has great value as well because we would be like a Hebrew boy who grew up in Egypt's palace. We have the secrets of the enemy or of the oppressor. The only thing that I certainly want to remind us of is that our main weapon has to be mutual understanding and love. True. It's respect and love. We're not going in to replace the oppressor by being oppressive ourselves. We have spoken about that before.
Change that mindset.
Yeah, after your enemy has been made your footstool, your next step is to extend a hand and lift him up. This is, of course, after you have conquered it in the spiritual.
Yeah, conquered it.
You pass from death to life, and the life that you live is a life that is anchored in mutual respect, love, and brotherhood. Okay, is it time for our break? I think it is 7 a.m. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Jamaica is making progress in its quest to become a fully digital society. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, more government services are being offered online, and virtual school as essential becomes the norm. The key to this digital transformation is for as many Jamaicans as possible to have access to reliable internet service. That's the aim of the National Broadband Initiative. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Darrell Vaz says the government is now actively working to implement the plan and recently provided an update on its progress. He says an agreement has been reached with the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS for the use of utility poles for the running of fiber optic cables across the island. The National Works Agency NWA and JPS are in discussions to decide on the way forward for the implementation of the project.
Tenders have also been issued for contractors to erect these cables in the parishes of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester and Westmoreland. While the tender process for the some contractors are complete, the responses to the other tenders are currently being evaluated with a view to completing the tender process in short order. I'm also pleased to advise this Honourable House of discussions which are currently underway with Flow Jamaica to provide free access to 2 dark fiber strands on the north coast to supply end-to-end access from St. James to St. Anne to St. Mary to Portland, and Portland to St. Thomas.
Minister Vaz commended telecoms company Flow for its support for the execution of the National Broadband Initiative and expressed optimism for a favorable outcome of ongoing discussions with the company. The initiative is being supported by the implementation of community Wi-Fi hotspots in 189 communities across the island on a phased basis.
The implementation was originally to be done in 4 phases, but has since been reduced to 3. In phase 1, 27 of 28 sites have been completed online. 1 site, Facey District in Northeast St. Catherine, was retendered, and we anticipate it being completed by February 2022. Phase 2 consisted of 32 sites, all of which have been established, and the remaining 130 sites, including Facey District, are expected to be completed by March 31st.
Minister Vaz says this would mean that 3 community Wi-Fi hotspots will be up and running in all constituencies by the end of this financial year. Several new community access points, CAP sites, are set to be implemented across the island, further increasing access to the internet, especially for persons living in rural areas.
Currently, 7 community access points have been established across the island. These are Garlogie Primary and Junior High Clarendon, Tivoli Gardens Drumcore, Kingston, Brixton Hill Primary School in Clarendon, Red Ridge Resource Center, St. Elizabeth, Sir Howard Cook Thursday Group Character Development Center in Nannyville, St. Andrew, Albion Primary School, St. James, and Cheapside Basic School and Community Center in St. Elizabeth.
The ministry is also providing support to persons with disabilities with the Macam Child Care Development Center, Salvation Army School for the Blind, and Portmore Self-Help, all receiving connectivity under the National Broadband Initiative. The Own Your Own Device initiative geared at increasing the number of devices in the education sector is going well. To date, under Phase 1, over 34,000 vouchers have been distributed island-wide, with over 28,000 being redeemed.
We're embarking on a second phase of the initiative, which will see students being granted vouchers to purchase either a laptop or a tablet, depending on their grade level. Further updates will be provided as we proceed with this phase of the initiative.
Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Darrell Vaz. The work continues as the government seeks to improve internet connectivity for all Jamaicans, with the goal of becoming a fully digital society by 2020. I'm Andre Palmer. Thank you for listening.
NIS pensioners, early encashment continues. Any pension order voucher with a payable date in February 2022 may be encashed as of February 3. Collect your February payments at your convenience. Simply visit your designated post office. Pension vouchers can only be encashed at post offices. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM. Keep listening.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess 100.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Bess 100 FM.
Make me your radio and turn me up when you feel low.
Turn it
this
up a little bit.
melody was meant for you. So
right
sing
there.
along to my stereo.
Hey, my listening crew. This is your late afternoon companion to Shikalu on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is on the ear with me, yours truly. A program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed. With the credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout-outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-538-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Bess 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection, and thank you for the concern that is being expressed online because I am bundled up in my hoodie. I gave you your answer. Pastor have more natural insulation than me. So
I leave that alone, you know.
So he's not feeling as cold as I am.
I've dropped 25 pounds in recent times.
Yeah, so by next month you'll be in a hoodie like me.
No, I will not be in a. It's just part of the thing. But I just want, as we come back and get preparing to open the lines, I could not help but listen to the GIS with this national
broadband initiative.
Yeah, and you know something about that because most of the funding will come from the Universal Access Fund, and it according to what is on the GIS website information service, when the minister of, which is Vaz, he says it will be designated a national development project, but that's not a new concept because you know a little about what happened. You said it started in 2005.
Yes, in 2005, after I had worked on setting up the Universal Service Fund or Universal Access Fund. The first thing we did was to issue an RFP for telecoms companies to bid for the deployment of a national broadband network in order to put internet in schools and other public places. And
that's from 2005.
That's from 2005.
And that something like this could happen.
Yes, I mean,
that's happened with COVID.
Well, you understand the history of it. We had fought off the U.S. who tried to shut down the fund, and had, in defense of the fund, said that it would be used to finance the deployment of a national network that could help with our commitment to close the digital divide. And what it was, of course, the Universal Service Fund is a trust fund which would pay subsidies to carriers who extended their network in areas and for services that were not economically feasible. So if you wanted to put internet in all the schools and you wanted students to have access while they're at home, somebody had to build out that network in areas that couldn't pay for it. And the fund would then pay a subsidy to that carrier. When that RFP was issued, both Flow and at the time Cable and Wireless were separate entities, and they both answered the bid. They each submitted a bid. Flow won the bid, and Cable and Wireless appealed and made submissions to say that they were equally entitled, and I think a Solomonic decision was taken to cut the project in two.
So
and
I
each
remember Solomonic with the baby in two.
Yes, and each would have the right to build out the network in the area where their network was most robust. So the island was split. It never got done. It never got done. So what the minister is talking about is executing on a vision that is, what you said, 16 years old?
16 years old.
17, yeah.
And he says in terms of how it's going to be done, so the overall project is valued at $237 million US, and they're going to be getting money from
IDB,
World Bank, IDB.
Yeah. So now, what is sort of disheartening about it is this project was meant to be owned by carriers who are contributing. They're paying a tax to support the fund. And the theory behind all of these, and this is not something that we made up, this is international best practice in the industry. The theory behind it is carriers will pay the tax into a fund. It's like paying it forward. They will then provide the service on their network, and receive a subsidy from the fund. So through that interaction, the carrier's business would grow.
Okay.
Because really, you're pooling your money to provide better services, and you, the carrier, would benefit.
Okay, and the government was funding it in terms of what would have come from the USA.
Not the government. It's the Universal Service Fund that would pay for it. So it's carriers pooling their money and then carriers spending their money. But the money was under government management. It's a company. The trust was under government management because you couldn't very well have the same people putting money into the fund managing it, because then you'd have maybe an integrity issue.
Okay.
What I'm gathering now, and the truth of it is it's been somewhat painful for me to even track it too closely, because I was so close to it, and to see it, to see the perversion of it that exists today is stressful. But what seems to be emerging is that government now wants to have ownership of the network. So government would now be competing against the carriers whose money would pay for a part of the deployment of this network. And I guess government is borrowing money to fund the part of it that is beyond the capability of the fund.
Okay.
I guess that's what they're doing. It was never meant for government to be a telecoms player. You cannot regulate the same industry in which you are participating.
Okay.
If you think about it. So it seems to be a situation where the government puts out the RFP, the carriers bid for it, but the government is the contractor. It's not carriers building out their network and then receiving a subsidy out of their own pooled funds to cover it. And it was meant to be that way, because here what was in place before was a universal service plan that was funded by the monopoly carrier. So you never got into services that were more costly than the industry could bear.
Okay.
Now you have government borrowing money to put into the industry, which if the Chamber of Commerce man wants to talk about interfering in competition, which is a marked interference in competitive forces. Because think of it, if you populate the island with free internet, what will the carriers sell?
Okay.
How will carriers remain viable if a very large cohort of customers has free network access? When you inundate the area with hotspots and free internet in schools and so on, I don't hear anything about the subsidy program that sits behind it and how carriers will remain viable and competitive after the network is built.
Okay, because it's supposed to be completed by 2025. Last man in it.
Yes, because we had a commitment to ITU to close the digital divide by 2025, which is why in 2005 we were looking to build this network.
25 years.
And then by the time you mature into 2025, the Internet of Things, the digital literacy standard would have taken off, and some of the economic gains that other countries are reaping from having a robust
internet,
technology infrastructure, we would be reaping it. We wouldn't have been caught flat-footed with the COVID arrangements. We could now be exporting education as a service. Yeah, because we are an English-speaking country.
South Africa is doing.
Like what? Absolutely. We could truly become a service-based economy, and also the outsourcing, the business processing, outsourced business that we do would be of a higher caliber, because we would have been really mature in our use and understanding of the technology. This is a good point to mention, that as we go through Black History Month, we are starting a program on digital literacy. To do a series of shows that bring experts in to talk about how we can upgrade the understanding, the average citizen's understanding and ability to interact with technology and in a digital economy. A part of it will be to bring experts who can speak to how you can get trained.
What you need to do.
Yeah, for those who want to do more than just, navigate social media. if you want to put your business online to market and, just having the greatest benefit that you can.
But what I
from
hear
technology.
what I hear you saying though, Minetti, as well.
You fall in love with the Minetti.
Minetti. It gives you an Italian flavor to
okay
your
then,
name.
sir.
Is how important vision is to us as a nation, and how I think we're becoming more mature, but we never do things that will impact the long-term thriving prosperity of the
flourishing of the
people in this nation. They come on because we can become so narcissistic. This is what I want to do, and I want to leave a legacy. But the legacy project really not affecting the lives of the man on the ground, and we really need to change that in terms of our thinking, in terms of our mindset. We need to emancipate. Our leaders need to emancipate themselves from this mental slavery. Me, myself, and I, and all of my friends will profit, but the larger population does not profit. Which is why I think I said it to you this morning. Those declarations we make, those declarations that we continue to make as we began the year in January over the nation. It's become so vital because even on the front page, experts call. So now there is these are sides with docs against the ISA sides with docs against Stuart COVID mandate. But Stuart is only interested in terms of living the mandate because of tourism, no, sir?
Well, I want to see what he says. Hotel mogul Adam Stewart does not have the backing of his counterparts in his campaign for the lifting of travel restrictions and mandates imposed by the government to limit the spread of COVID. Exactly what he said is what I'm curious about.
Towards a rollback of COVID.
Yes, he's pleading that the economic and social costs have been colossal. Just watched a video where the Minister of Health, this is apparently what he said. I just watched a video where the Minister of Health publicly stated he plans to discriminate against the overwhelming majority of Jamaican citizens who have made a personal choice. What happened to out of many one people? Stewart wrote on Twitter Sunday, referencing Jamaica's motto. He suggested also that the mass mandate for children was unhealthy and questioned the need for its continuation. But Issa insists that the determination if and when coronavirus mandates should be lifted ought to rest with epidemiologists and other health experts.
But they've been wrong. They've been wrong.
The epidemiologists and the health experts?
They have been wrong. That is why countries across Europe...
All right, so let me be clear in what you're saying, because we here have said that it should not be a political issue.
No,
it should be a matter of following the science.
Yeah,
not the perverted science, but I guess the true science. You're not resiling from that position.
No, I'm not.
Right. So it's a question of what's the correct science.
Yeah, the correct science which says, okay, which we and people have been saying this for a very long time. When the Barrington Declaration was made, and that was in November 20, people ridiculed it.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up on another station when they were talking to myself and another pastor, and I said, you're talking about equivalency. I said, but why would these people, and they have 20,000 doctors and people signing it, to say that doing what you're doing is going the wrong way. And now we're seeing it in terms of, those guys says, do not go the way that you're going. Focus on the people who are most at risk and allow for the children and the other people to go about their business. That is what is going to cause for the herd immunity that you are stressing to become a reality. Now, countries, people are reeling. The mental health issues, the other doctoral things in terms of visit, the cancers, they are just ballooning out of control. And mostly for our children, the impact on our children will be felt for generations. And the science is telling us when they're checking out on the children in terms of their development, it is crazy.
So the issue still comes back to keeping the politics out of it.
Yes.
Because the scientists who allow the politics to pervert their public
like in the States,
utterances,
with what is happening.
they've allowed politics to warp the true science. But I do believe that it should not be political.
Yeah, and I agree
but
with
it
them.
is the correct information.
Yes, and the studies that are coming out, because even a study just came out of John Hopkins that has said in terms of the mandates rollbacks in terms of affecting the mortality 0.26%. You can go to the John Hopkins website
and find the studies.
Yeah.
So I love it that we can all do our research.
Yes.
And get and be informed in proper order.
Yeah.
But when we saw it on the front line, you remembered the declarations, because our Father has promised that He will bring confusion into their camp, and still with all the talk about whatever Adam Stewart is saying, the hotel industry is still doing better than maybe even say the entertainment or other industries that have really suffered. Even the average Jamaican who can't go on a beach. So many people call and talk about how they look at the tourists frolicking on our beach, and we have been restricted from having access. So even with that talk, they are still doing better than the average citizen. And I think it really is a bit of self-interest, because he does talk about cancellations of bookings and so on. And things are picking up now, and I guess he wants that trajectory to remain. So let's just open up Jamaica, and the tourists will come here, have all the fun, enjoy our country, while we are still under curfew and lockdown. Because
the UK have done it. The Danes, the Switzerland, Sweden. What is it that they know that we don't know?
So you are in support of lifting the restrictions?
Yeah, because it's telling us now, John, that it has proven.
So you agree with Adam?
Yeah.
But
and people are saying follow the
proper science.
Yeah.
All right. So you wanted us to just repeat the declarations, because we see them having an effect. We decree and declare that no longer shall the princes and leaders of the land abuse and oppress the people. We decree and we declare a time of freedom, empowerment, and prosperity for the people, a season of outstanding achievement. We decree and we declare that the administration of justice in every sphere of life shall be freed from the limitations of cynical and unbelieving men and women, and that justice shall indeed flow like living waters from the throne of God into the bellies of every man and woman. Those are the declarations with which we started the year, and we're keeping it up because we see things shifting in some important ways. When the pastor from Montego Bay, Pathway something, his church, when he died, we talked about the arrangements and the level of equipment, the quality of the equipment that our police are given to carry out their job. We remember how the vehicle was crushed and it didn't appear to have any type of reinforcement, just a regular car on the road. Yesterday, it was reported in the news that accused persons who were being transported to and from court had a brawl in which two police personnel were injured, and a few of the accused persons as well. The narrative includes throwing of stones and bottles and
can't throw a stone and buckle.
But so you're wondering, what are the conditions under which prisoners are being kept, that while they are awaiting, either while they're being transported or waiting to be transported, they have access to stones and bottles? You see that Coronation Market Point, the nastiness and the grime in which we carry out business. It's the same thing. I mean, I told you, when I used to frequent the Supreme Court building, you could smell the weed from, wafting out of the holding cell. And you just have to wonder, how on earth are the accused persons? Yeah, they say, but I mean, really.
But then it was an
that
illegal
was blatant. Yeah.
Legal substance
Yes.
in the precincts of the Supreme
right
Court.
there in the Supreme Court. Right there. Who was giving it to them? Who was turning a blind eye? We talk about corruption. Those are elements of corruption. Those are kind of the low-hanging fruit that you can fix. Well, see, it has erupted into a situation where the police who are tasked with guarding a woman police, was injured, and I think it's not a good look. So we talk about the administration of justice. That is a part of how we are administering justice, that we keep our people and our police have to work in abysmal condition, and the accused persons are kept in, wow. I mean, they Gleaner describe the scene. It was not pretty. Anyway,
the policewoman.
Yeah.
No, sir. Yeah, and then we remember, in Parliament recently, as we begin to address what is happening with crime, which has to be done in a holistic way, the Minister of National Security said, man, we're gonna increase the police people's salaries. So we wait with bated breath to see if that becomes a reality.
Do you remember the cynicism with which I viewed the full page ads that the chicken industry? Okay. Caribbean Broilers hikes chicken prices. Following a recent price hike by its rival, Caribbean Broilers has announced that it would be increasing the cost of chicken by 6 to 8%. The company said the increase would take effect immediately. The rippling effects of the continued global supply chain disruptions and the further devaluation of the Jamaican dollar are causing the cost of commodities, packaging materials, and other inputs to surge, CB Foods said. Jamaica Broilers, which represents one half of the big two, had raised its prices by 10% in January. Global supply chain woes have worsened in Jamaica and elsewhere, pushing up the prices of food, transportation, and other commodities. In an effort to provide consumers with cheaper alternatives, Pernell Charles Jr., the Agriculture Minister, proposed temporarily lifting duties on imported leg quarters, which would slash retail prices by more than 50%. So while you're lobbying for the minister to stay his hand and to be more, you push up the price.
But here's the thing that...
What's the consumer to do? What is the minister to do?
Yeah, and I can understand. But one of the things I would throw out to CB and Jamaica Broilers, I know that your shareholders demand it, but can't we, in terms of this national effort to ease the burden on the consumer, say, okay, I haven't worked with a multinational at some point. You know what drove us? An expected rate of return on your investment. That was the driving thing.
That's the sole talking point.
Yeah, expected. And I'm saying, okay, can you say, okay, can we, in terms of what is happening, and I'm calling out...
all right, can you
Yeah.
Formulate it?
Yeah,
so
man.
we can say it and people, it's sinking.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the break now. When we come back, you can make that statement, and then we can open the lines. Start a little bit earlier this morning.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience, and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
easy. Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe on God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
The Aeronautical School of the West Indies presents Squawk 876, a fun and informative program where you will learn about flying, aircraft systems, weather, maintenance, and much more. Tune in to Best 100 FM this and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
The one where Conrad is. Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. So we're getting some feedback about the universal service conversation that Pastor Percy and I had some minutes ago, and there seemed to be a lively interest in probably doing something more on it, in the vein of the investigative journalism that that Rusty likes, and say I need to get out there and do something.
Yeah, but as we focused on that, and we focused on another national issue, and then our declarations that we've been making come to the fore, and then we close the segment with the fact that Jamaica Brawlers had moved up their
price
by 10%, and CB, the two big players, had moved up by 68%. The point I'm making is simply this. COVID, the pandemic, has impacted everybody across the board. One of the things that has resulted from the COVID is increasing prices, like with corn, which is a major component of the feeding, in terms of the bottlenecks that happen in terms of the supply chain. I was talking to somebody and they were saying to me recently, a container that would cost me $1,500, I'm just quoting, to come from China, now it's costing me triple that cost. And they says I can't pass that on to the consumer because it would make me uncompetitive. But what I'm saying to the two big players, there is an expected rate of return that you have. Can you suspend that for the time being in terms of really giving an easing of the pressure on the consumer? Because you have said Jamaica is your main market. You have invested so much. Ease off of that for the time being and don't raise your prices. That's just what I'm calling them out and say. So to the Levies and to the Ericssons, who are the major players in those companies, you are Jamaicans, born in Jamaica, lived in Jamaica, love Jamaica. I am sure your main shareholders would not have a problem with delaying this price increase until things settle down more in terms of affecting your bottom line. Simple what I have to say.
Yeah. Well, it is a timely call. We spoke earlier about this mistrust of institutions and how the consumer then, who is laborer and at a certain point in place in the economy, how they view the big man and how capital behaves. Let's put it to the test.
Yeah.
Let's put it to the test. Show yourself to be friendly.
Yeah.
And that's why when I saw them doing the full page ads and using all the black faces to say this is the face of the industry.
It is the face of the industry.
But then you turn around and you stab them in the face.
Yeah.
Because when you raise prices, Earl Brown is saying boycott is an effective weapon. But it's very difficult for some people to boycott the main protein that they have.
Yeah.
And it's not, and it would mean boycotting the local producers, because they're the ones who have put up the price. The minister is threatening to lift the taxes on imports so people can have a cheaper option. And they make it hard, I think, for him to stay his hand when people are looking. Chicken is like one of the main protein dish. I know a certain someone who only eats chicken and fish.
So we're going veg now. We're going to go totally
I think
vegan.
yeah, and
which I'm saying
and then
it's better for your system.
Yeah, but some persons you go buy vegetables to get fresh vegetables, or you have to
expensive.
either plant it or options
so
are
it's
not
forcing
cheap.
us to
And
become
then,
more self-sufficient. The call goes back to the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy,
So we
what
need
a
to
thing.
be.
Yeah.
There is a story of predial larceny.
Yeah, break my heart.
30 cows. You know what it is to move 30 cows? The man went to his farm and the 30 cows had vanished. He had
That's organized crime.
Yeah.
Mocha need to take a look at it. 30 cows.
30 cows.
Because if you are moving 30 cows, yeah, man.
Yeah.
30 cows is a major movement, you know.
That's trucks. That's like when they stole sand from the that's like when the sand was stolen
from the
That
beach.
is not a little man who trying to pay school fees.
Organized crime.
That is an organized logistical nightmare. Yeah, and oh my God.
Said to the cows, come cows, like the sheep you call it. No, but but the truth is, you move 30 cows.
30 cows.
Who is going to butcher 30 cows?
cows?
Because the thing is, when you bring the cows into the abattoir, it must be stamped. Where get the cow them from? Where did you get these cows from? That is a question that the butchers have to be asking themselves.
And you can't easily hide 30 cows.
Yeah.
30 cows just show up in a neighborhood. You can't. They make noise. They pass waste. They need grass. They need water. That is not a small. I'm a country girl. I have a sense. Hiding one cow would be challenging. Much less, yes, that was one of the things on the Carousel network when we were looking at RF tags, radio frequency tags on animals. So if somebody stole your animal, you could track it, just like how you can track your car. You just, clip something on their ear. This is a man who spent 7 years building a herd.
And in 7 years.
Oh, my God. In the 7 years, he didn't sell one. He started with 2. He said, me start with 2 cows. I'm going to try to sell any. Me just burn coal and buy them and me live off. I eat me live off, the coal, that is. Me don't have no education for do no big work, the 45-year-old farmer said. On the day the cows disappeared, he had been contemplating going for them from as early as 10 a.m. But maybe if me did go, me would be dead. Maybe they would shoot me. And I bless him for saying he has life so he can build again.
That's an interesting thing with Jamaica.
Come on, Jamaica. We got to step up now.
We have to step up and become our brother's keeper. Because if you sit in Lionel Town, you see a truck coming in and moving 30 cows.
That's that one truck,
Yeah, you have to say, I know, no brother Percy, cow them and move or something. And you make a call, because everybody have cell phone.
And they were taken in the day, it seems like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You must see something,
terrible.
and that is how we have to take responsibility for each other. We have to be our brother's keeper. And as we talk about the informer for that, you see 30 cow move, you make a call and say, Brother Percy, you move your cow them today?
That's about 3 trucks, at least.
And that is how we become
put
our
10
brother's
in each.
keeper.
Yeah.
Because we are saying, we said the police must do it, and yeah, them have them role to play. But in your community, you know how hard Brother Percy had. 7 years. And them have 30 cows and them getting ready now to sell them, to build them house.
Yeah. So now, this is the other response. Honestly, if I had 2 cows today, I'd give that man one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, real, for real, for real. Come on.
He needs help.
Yeah, man.
He needs
So
help.
we're launching an appeal. Whatever his name is. His name is,
Edwards. His name. Let me tell you his full name. Sean Edwards.
Sean needs some cows. So those of us who have hundreds of cows, can you reach out to us and say we want to give Sean one cow, or help Sean find about them cow if they don't kill him already?
Yeah, because 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Call and said, no man, we're launching the national thing to give Brother Sean back. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they might freeze it and let it on. Yeah, little. Or they might export it.
Yeah.
This is this is a big endeavor. And you don't hear it, but for this story, God bless the Gleaner for carrying it. But for this story, hear nothing about it,
That's major organized crime. Instead of let me behave myself this morning.
Yeah. But we surely should be able to do something for this guy. Earl Brown says 500 truckloads of sand. Police was directing traffic. Must be. Yeah. Yeah. But that's just like that when you for you to move that kind of. Oh my Lord! See, big man thing again. Big man thing again. Let us pull it down. Come on. We have spoken the declarations over this country. They cannot get away with it. So, yes, let's make an appeal.
Yeah.
You have your herds of cow. I think I know one person who has cattle. Yeah. I'm going to call my friend and ask him if he would donate, start the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Donate something to this guy. Oh, just to give him hope, to let him know that we feel for him and we care.
That is what we are about as Jamaicans. Yeah. Always been about that.
All
we
right.
have to rekindle.
Let's open the lines. That's a good point. So if you have coat can give to Sean Edwards, call us. Pastor Percy and I will figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Now we don't have a bathroom, we don't have a kitchen. This is what we're going to use to build a house, man. Jeez.
Yeah, you're right. We were trying to build a house. We don't have anything, and he was planning to use money earned from his cows to finish the house. We don't have a bathroom. We don't have a kitchen. We don't have anything. And that's why I'm crying, because them take everything from him, Sabrina said. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Minett.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, but this is my teeth. And it's all a speed of steel. You know, some steel to the house of bolt already. You see that this house bolted?
Oh, no. Pastor said the horse not bolt.
I think the house
It's looking like it, but...
Why you believe a doctor amplificator foot?
So tell me how you would treat the horse that has bolted now, recognizing that it's our society and it's our people. What we're going to do?
No, me ask a question now. Why you believe a doctor amplificator an individual foot?
Because him thinks he believes that you don't have no other option.
The foot becomes a threat to life.
Yeah, itself.
And it's going to poison the whole body.
Yeah. But sometimes it's because he doesn't have the right medication and he's limited in his response.
And him don't follow through the course so the doctor prescribe. And so after the doctor has been saying to him for a very long time, this is what you need to do. He said, doctor know him must say. And then so when he reaches to the place of amputation, it means that you've tried everything else and you have not follow the course that you need to do. So I'm saying, all right, that's it.
So that's what my friend here is saying, that perhaps we're at that point.
We are at this point, and there's a lot of bad foot out there.
Right, jeez.
Bad foot and bad doctors.
And it's a contamination. The little we leave. Jamaica have a mindset right here now. I tell you, there's a mindset here, and I feel it's 100 years down the road. It's still not got a same way.
No man, that's why we're making declaration. You see, we have to.
Right now, you're asking people to give that individual cow. You have to fix the system. Giving him a couple more cow. It's the same thing that happen over and over again. We're not blind. We see. We're not blind in Jamaica. You know? Everybody, America is inquisitive country. Everybody see.
So tell me how you see us throwing in the towel then. What you mean by, what would the form of amputation be for this particular leg that has gone bad?
You have to get rid of the bad foot.
So what?
It's like a person sweep a house, and each time he's clean up the house, somebody coming with that dirty up. It's like the dog that chasing tail.
Okay.
You don't see it for yourself. You're blind. Nobody not see.
What I'm seeing and I'm declaring is this: can a nation be reborn in a day? Yes, because all things are possible to those who believe, but the belief must be translated into action. You see,
everybody, selfishness.
But but let me ask you a question: are you a selfish person?
No.
All right. So therefore, that is how we'll begin the change. Because
you know, enough time, me listen to argument. The tears are coming on my eyes. Because I'm an emotional person.
Yes.
I love human beings, and I know human beings supposed to live. You know, see. I spent 2 months in on a public for poor circulation, and to the way how I see human being coming here with their hand chop off, amputate, foot, finger gone, gunshot, and it hurt me a lot because I said to myself, why human being have to do each other so? And when you have a nation, when an individual can see his brother and his sister as enemy, something wrong.
But you know.
Something totally wrong. And if you was to listen to music, them everybody say, "My brother, I do this to him. My brother, I hope him." Depression taking over by the second.
Yeah, but let the good become infectious to the rest of our country, because I do believe, and I am declaring on the national airwaves, that we still have good people. And as I say to people all the time, like yourself, like me, if you know what it is to do right, do it all the time.
And bring someone along
with you. Along with you, and it begin to change. Because I'm seeing it changing even in terms of conversations that are happening as we are having dialogue with people. I'm seeing it in people round about me who are saying, no man, we can't continue so. But change is happening in pockets. And as I've been declaring, it will become a tsunami for good in this country. So let us not give hope. Let us not give up hope and hope. Let us believe even until we draw our last breath, my brother.
It's like a person have a sore foot and he can't well.
No man, the sore foot I go fix. That we believe in God.
All right, my brother. Stay hopeful, please.
Yes.
And if you have a second cow that you can give that man.
Yes. All right. Bless you.
Or you know somebody with a herd.
Yeah, man.
We have to fix it. We have to fix it first. We have to fix it. Giving him cow again. They're not going to teach him and cow again.
No, but no. You have hope. It is renewing hope in somebody who is hopeless.
And hope in the same humanity that robbed him.
Yeah.
All right, my brother, I have another call. Let me go to it. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Kingdom greetings, Miss Lauren.
Kingdom greetings to you too, sir.
Righteousness. Pastor P.
I think it's Branch.
Pastor P.
Yes, my brother. How are you?
I'm not so well, you know.
Why not well?
Within the spirit. The thing is not going good. It is going bad. Because I am calling the world to a new kingdom from 1975. But because of the teaching of the people, the teaching what the people get, they have no knowledge about the kingdom of God on earth. Because they were taught that Jesus will come to carry them to heaven. But if you're looking at the Bible, St. John 3, verse 13, you will see that is who come from heaven will go to heaven.
Okay.
And man is of earth and is earthly. He that is heavenly, and he that is earthly. So I'm calling on the world right now to get a King James Version Bible.
Okay.
And make a contact with me.
Okay.
Because the fulfillment of God is come.
Okay.
We were taught that we will be going to heaven, but the Bible said to your own land. Our foreparents was sold here. And God visit and make a change to the kingdom that Jesus had appointed for all people.
Okay.
I am now calling on all people to stand for righteousness, for that is only what will make the change from evil to good.
Branch, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You're operating out of St. Anne, and you've been sharing this message. Have anybody listened to you? Have seen anybody who has changed their ways?
Well, I don't know of any, because many people say I am mad.
Okay. All right.
Because the treatment where him get, him a look with Jesus come.
Okay.
But if you look with what the Bible says, the Bible says different things what Jesus tell you, say I'm going to rise up one in the last day.
Okay, and you are that person?
Yes, sure, right, sure.
All right, then. Thank you. We have another call online. Bless you.
Okay, sir. And I hope here for you still, Sir.
All right, sir. Yeah, but yes.
Earl Brown says farmers should start branding cows.
But that project was started like that in terms of tracking.
But it's not the branding really. It's to tag them so you can find them, because obviously the people who steal them have a place where they don't care about ownership. They're taking it to somebody who is prepared to overlook ownership. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Right here. Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's the RF tagging that is entirely possible.
And I think that started a pilot of that, in Jamaica, I believe. If my memories, we could, I think, rather. Yeah, man, I think so.
Maybe RF tagging or just tagging? You don't have the network to do it on.
Oh, okay.
Because tracking of the animals
it's like you do your car.
It's like what you do with your car. Yeah, it requires a network that will track them to anywhere the thieves take them to hide. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, Minett. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Good morning to you
too. Pastor Palmer.
How are you?
I've been listening, and I heard you talking about the video last night with the farmer who they stole 30 cows from, right?
Yes.
I'm just making an observation. And recently I was watching the news. I think it was one day this week.
Yes.
Maybe even last night, and it was reported that 2 Chinese nationals were killed in St. Louis, but they were business people.
Yes.
And I think this occurred within a week or two ago. Not sure.
And
but it is not the first time observing this either within the news of Jamaica. And within the 2 weeks, the intelligence that the police and investigators have used have found the person who have killed these Chinese nationals.
Yes,
I'm saying, when we have crimes in our country, why can't the same rule of investigation apply to everybody? Because this man was asking service, because the person is happening, and we never see these crimes solved.
Yeah.
So that means we can do better.
We can.
So the song that Muta Baruka said, better must come, better can be done. You understand?
Absolutely, we share that view. So the gentleman who was so despondent a while ago, saying we're at the amputation stage, I know that it looks bad and it is looking, gangrenous, but we can do something about it.
Yeah, man, we have seen things being done about things in similar cases. Why cannot they apply for everything?
For everything.
We talk about protest and serve, and what is the essence of serving if we're not solving crime?
If we're not solving crime.
In our country right now, the island of Jamaica.
Yeah, and building up trust in the institutions that are a part of our social and political affairs. The police is not enjoying a good day.
I really sympathize with this farmer who is, I don't know how early he gets up in the morning, go 10 cows, and imagine he's not 1 cow stolen, he's not 2 or 30 cows.
30. How
and,
cruel is that?
And this not been a major thing to talk about in Jamaica right now, and find a way how just through intelligence and talking about it. Because you know I saw the truck, one of the truckers, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. And maybe they pass through one of the toll roads where you could probably find the details of the vehicle. Somebody must have seen something.
Yes, how often this is going to happen? I'm saying our security forces and our people, our civilians need to work together to make sure that these things stop. Because you see why crime continue? It's because it's not solving.
It's not being solved, so they get away with it. So my dear, I agree with you. I think it is a good time for even the government, since the government was thinking of lifting taxes to make chicken price fall. Couldn't they see this man's plight and give him 10 cows, 10 heads of cattle?
Yeah, even that. Yeah, do something, yeah.
Something should be done.
I heard you saying that, but if you had two, you'd give him one right now, and I would say the same thing,
Listen to me, man.
So it's a national call that is going out, my sister.
If you know anybody with cattle, that man deserves to be blessed. Just to know that other people stand with him and feel what he's going through.
Yeah.
While at the same time, the police need to get on with it and solve it.
Yeah, our police have to use more intelligence. They use it for other things. They need to use intelligence when talking about crime in Jamaica. I think that's big lacking. With it, not using intelligence.
Well said, my dear. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning,
Rachel, the young one.
I'm quite sad for that, Reggie.
Man.
Because anything else that had happened, or if it was anybody else that happened to, they would find. They found a briefcase that Peter Bunting went to a hotel and was within a night. You could think about all the
little things, for important people that end up getting priority treatment.
And things like this. I believe that these animals were taken offshore. I don't think they were circulating within counties. They've been taken far out. And it must be vehicles that people say, it's official. They're not paying it any mind.
Yeah. But that has to be a convoy of trucks.
Yeah, it's not normal. It has to be a company truck of many vehicles from a particular company, and people see this and say to themselves, they're not paying it any mind because they think that kind of thing. So people see and people know, and until these things happen to people themselves, I don't think people understand that this corruption and I see and I don't talk.
Yeah.
It needs to stop right here and now.
And so even we talk about the Whistleblowing Act and, protected disclosure. I think we need to use those arrangements to be more forthcoming about the things we see. You do it anonymously, however you want to do it. Get it done. Get the word out there so that at least you didn't just stand by and let that kind of loss go unaccounted for.
Even if they put some people, if we organize some people together, because I'm saying they who are responsible are not doing anything. So it's down to the people of Jamaica.
Yes,
you get contacts from all over the world, different people communicating and sharing ideas of how to catch a thief. And it might be a big thief or the biggest thief on the land, but they will be caught.
They can be caught. Yes.
And God is not sleeping. And this man who has been put through this traumatized situation, his suffering is going to fall on their children, and their children, if they don't repent and change their ways. Mark my words.
All right, my sister. Thank you for sharing with us. Yeah.
So we now must share and seek overseas as well. Advice for what do they do in these times.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks very much.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. The French President Emmanuel Macron is in Ukraine for talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky as part of a wider initiative to try to de-escalate the crisis with Russia. Mr. Macron has travelled from Moscow, where he had 5 hours of discussions with President Putin on Monday. James Waterhouse reports from the Ukrainian capital.
Kiev's diplomatic treadmill is showing no signs of slowing. Emmanuel Macron is the latest in a growing line of world leaders to visit Ukraine as this crisis has deepened. After his Moscow visit, the French president warned about the need for intensive discussions to find a solution. Vladimir Putin emphasised his red lines by telling reporters if Ukraine joined NATO and tried to reclaim annexed Crimea by force, it would start a major conflict. President Zelensky's government, though, has been expressing its own red lines, that there are no concessions on Ukraine's territory, no direct dialogue with the occupied territories by Russian-backed militants, and that only Ukrainians have a say on the future of their country.
A detachment of Russian landing ships is entering the Black Sea from the Mediterranean. Russia's defence ministry said 6 vessels from its Baltic and Northern fleets had begun their passage through the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles. The UN says the worst drought in 40 years is threatening the lives of 13 million people in the Horn of Africa. 3 consecutive rainy seasons have failed, with poor rains expected again in the coming months. Harvests are ruined and livestock are dying. The World Food Programme says emergency action is needed. Sean Hughes is from the WFP.
We've seen rates of malnutrition amongst children and mothers really increasing in the region since the onset of the pandemic. That's because employment opportunities have been disrupted. Remittances from urban areas and outside the region have been disrupted. Markets and supply chains have been disrupted. And the net effect is that prices of staple commodities within markets are becoming less and less affordable.
The oil giant BP has announced its highest annual profit for 8 years at nearly $13 billion. Energy companies are benefiting from a surge in oil and gas prices. Here's Darshini David.
The very same energy prices that have spelt crippling bills for users previously prompted BP's boss to describe his operation as a cash machine. A combination of resurgent demand and geopolitical tensions means wholesale gas costs are 5 times higher than before the pandemic, while oil prices have almost doubled. BP has also benefited from a large stake in the Russian energy producer Rosneft at a time when that country has been accused of boosting prices by constraining supply.
Darshini David reporting. World News from the BBC. The head of the European Commission has announced plans for major new investment in the development and production of microchips that aims to make the EU a world leader in the field. Ursula von der Leyen said the goal was for the EU to produce a fifth of the world's supply by 2030. She said the coronavirus pandemic exposed the vulnerability of supply chains, with shortages of chips affecting manufacturing. North Korea has denied reports that state-backed hackers carried out a lucrative series of attacks on cyber networks and cryptocurrency exchanges last year, calling the allegations a creation by the United States. Celia Hatton has more details.
The US-based cryptocurrency think tank Chainalysis said last month that 2021 was a banner year for North Korean hackers, netting them nearly $400 million worth of stolen digital assets. This week, UN investigators found Pyongyang appears to have swiped a smaller amount, $50 million in the past 18 months, while also concluding that North Korea is putting stolen funds towards its illicit weapons programs. North Korea has repeatedly denied the existence of its state-backed hackers, which Chainalysis described as an advanced, persistent threat to the entire cryptocurrency industry.
The authorities in the southern Indian state of Karnataka have closed all high schools and colleges for 3 days after protests escalated against female Muslim students wearing the hijab. The state chief minister has appealed for peace and harmony. This year's Polar Prize, seen as one of the most prestigious in music, has been awarded to 2 musical innovators, the French Ensemble Intercontemporain and Iggy Pop, the godfather of punk. The jury said the US musician had pushed rock music forward for half a century with his courage, initiative and raw power. That's the latest world news from the BBC.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in. Best 100 FM.
Melody in our voice. Kemisha plays the music nice. Melody in our voice. Kemisha full of vibes. Best FM run the town. Yes, I run the town. Hear me loud and clear. They run the country and the town, or the far and near. Bless the love and to Empress Kamisha on Best FM, and it's all about the resetting, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on Best FM. Keep it locked. This is Warrior King, the Black Emperor. Come on, tune in.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
the Kingstones.
I think I love you, Best FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Best FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. We have a caller that has been waiting patiently. Go ahead, caller. Make your point, please.
Yes. Good morning, PNM.
Good morning.
Yes. Listening to the news this morning, we're speaking about 5 robbers who involving 2 policemen. Who is on $400,000 bill back. Now they find 2 constables with 4 more persons rocking a bar. You wonder what is our security system like, and why is it? And then you see why that man can lose him 30 cow and nobody doesn't see.
Yeah.
Because police would escort them truck there, carry them 30 cow there too. Because them going to be a part of the system. Because we know that is what is happening. Some of our police has become criminal. Our criminal has infected themselves within the police force. That has been happening and is a known thing and a known fact. And we need to find ways and means of stopping these type of things and investigating persons who are going into the law enforcement organization.
So, we start by saying if you know something.
Yes.
Find a source that you can give some information to anonymously, and let's take it from there. Because somebody must know something.
The police force and the army is investigating persons who are coming in, again, like how they used to go in the communities, and check with persons within the community about these persons when they apply and so forth to find out more about them and their background. I think that has lapsed, and so you find more criminal elements going in the police force. Using
I see what you're saying. The vetting of new officers, you're saying, has fallen.
Yes, has fallen and so forth. Now that is really something that we need to step up on. Yeah, and next topic now, quickly.
Yes.
The 2 newspapers reporting on the police officer whose child died in the car that was left locked up. The Gleaner was saying that the officer went on maybe a raid, I suppose, and was out for maybe 8 hours. Sunday gone, papers.
Okay.
While the observer was saying that he had closed up, he has locked up a minister from Haiti. It was implying that the possibility it would have been Obed and Obi making forget and all.
Okay.
So now our newspaper and our reporters need to look at what they are saying to persons and how they are implying things and giving information to the public. Because there need to be a cohesive, one cohesiveness, so that persons can then really fully see, or is it because we have got so the way of giving wrong information to person that we don't even know.
We don't seem to care anymore.
Not just the people.
And that is why we here will insist that you apply discernment in how you take information. When you have two mature media houses saying something that two different things and things that make you that give pause. Absolutely. Yes, yeah. It really casts a responsibility on us who's consuming the news to be way more discerning and not to be put off. I mean, even now, the main issue is what action has been taken in relation to the parent who we know was responsible for leaving the child in the car. What is the action that has been taken? We still look for it because we pray that the administration of justice will show equality and fairness at all levels.
And that has not happened so far. And so we are all wondering about it.
Same thing. We're looking for Nzinga King's report. We're not seeing it. There are just so many things that remain outstanding.
You won't see that, man. Because the system is set against the people, and every day it has proven itself more and more. And I wonder about these persons as ministers and support, if they really sleep good when time them go out and bed. In the way they're really dealing with
matters of public interest.
The Jamaica Labour Party, I don't even want to say the Jamaica Labour Party, but the ruling element, the political system, is against us so much. Because that is what it really is, And the political system is against the people, and the people have not seen it and decide to make the step away from them, They said, we have to have a management team,
So that is a part of the conversation this morning. Why is it that we see the reprehensible conduct, but we're quite willing to fight with one another in the trenches, but we're not doing anything about what we see in the higher quarters that's so set against us to break that mindset.
And it is why I try all the time calling out to the people and letting the people know you have to try something different, because you can't keep doing the same thing or throw the wine in at the same old dirty bucket to
get a different result.
You have to make a difference.
All right, my brother. Thank you for maintaining that standard. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello.
Good morning.
We never finished speaking yesterday, no man. I want to cut me off, man.
Excuse me?
We never finished speaking yesterday, but you cut me off.
All right. I thought you were finished, but go ahead this morning so it don't happen again.
Hello?
Yes, I said go ahead and speak this morning so it don't happen to you again, so you can finish what you're saying.
Why this is like when me call Chris to get rid of me special,
that is not true, Rusty. That's not true. That is not true, but don't use the time to complain about it.
Make your point.
Trust that you are beloved on this show.
What I'm saying is Zozo is in Westmoreland.
Yes.
So much killing going on there.
Yes, you're talking about the two dead at the party and eight shot, two fatally at party in Westmoreland.
Yes, and the Zozo is right
down there.
The state of emergency is down there, Two fatal and about 7 shots. Got shot and 2 died.
2 died. Very sad. 2 young people.
right in the eyes of the state of emergency. They see this crime thing is not working, you know, ma'am.
Well, you know, what... I understand why you say that.
And
because...
again, the police is not willing to work with this commission, I know, because he's not a police.
You think that's an issue?
Yeah, man, then want to moral. Want to moral in the police.
Moral, okay.
Yeah. If you get out, they did get rid of the other, get rid of the last commissioner here.
But I suspect they might be more upset about the work conditions and the government's stubbornness in treating them fairly.
No, what I'm saying, the last police commissioner that is from the police system, where they get them some man to get rid of.
Yeah.
You remember how they get rid of him?
No, I don't remember. How did they do it?
To bring in this army man. Remember how they get rid of him to bring in this army man here?
Oh, so you're saying maybe there's still some low morale coming out of that treatment of one of their own?
Yes, man, they treat the man bad, then they treat the man bad, man. I'm bringing this army man here back for the police, them. And I know, say, there is no moral in the police force right now because the police not willing to work with this man here.
All right, I hear you. I have not heard that particular argument being pressed that the police are not cooperating with the leadership.
Well, you don't understand soldier and police how them work, you know.
How them work, Rusty? How them work?
What? Eh?
How them work?
So you know, remember, before we grew up, soldier never like police and police never like soldier.
Oh, so
you
you
never
mean?
know that, sir?
So you mean, okay.
When I grew up as a little boy, police and soldier always been fighting. You remember them time there?
Okay.
Yes, I know that, and the training and the way they operate is different. But we've had successful collaboration between the two. What you're saying now, I've not really heard that being argued as one of the main reasons for the poor performance.
But it is still there.
Yeah.
And you can't use the government is using a army commissioner to head the police force. This commissioner doing a good job, you know.
I don't think so either.
This commissioner is not doing a good job, and you can't tell me if he's lying. Me tell him.
No. If we always look at the performance and what you see on the ground, and we're not seeing enough positive things on the ground to give him a passing grade.
He's nearly 5 years now. He's in the job, you know, Mama. About 4, you know.
Well, he was advisor to the Prime Minister before, so he's been on the front line for a long time.
So he's not appointed as a real commissioner, he's appointed as a friend.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right, we have another caller waiting.
But what else
so
you want to say
wrap
this
up for me so
yeah,
we can, because you have made the point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And pertaining to the incident at Westmoreland.
Yeah.
You can definitely say the thing is not working. That's why I said yesterday the gunfire them so them fine. I thought it was a stage.
Yes. Understand your brother.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I have to say this
yes,
morning.
we can't deny the credibility of what you're saying. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning, Mrs. Clark.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning. How you up, Russ?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm watching, I'm looking to see what is coming after the little baby that the police officer locked up in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I know I wonder if it can be run off like a 9 days thing, like Nzinga and all them other 9 days thing.
Well, I take it we won't let it. If we allow it, sure.
But Miss Lauren, we shouldn't lament, you know, on a man lock up a baby in a car, you know, and not even him alone, him and his wife. You have said it, right? As Oscar told me here. See? And we citizens, like a idiot Peter Terrell said, them are investigate. What you investigate? What are you investigating?
Well, even the action to be taken pending investigation is lacking, because it's rare that you would know that a homicide has occurred. That is not death by natural cause, so it is a homicide, and the persons involved are not dealt with pending the investigation. That is a rarity. You don't see that too often.
You see, that is why the country moral is running down like this. You see, that is why the country is running like this. People don't business. No, the man with the cow now. I feel like it's some other farm and thief that man called them.
But it should be
some other man with a big farm. Them call them a go amongst cow. But it's when them Lego and when them running at the pen, them just come back. Like people just know say cow there so. Them see a whole cow and more cow. You understand?
Yeah.
It now if you go up man out, the cow if you go about them more sheep or cow and dead.
But some level of investigation should find there can be some intelligence, because they moved and they must have moved on road. I don't think people heard them across the prairie. I think they were put in trucks and moved. So there must be some evidence that can be obtained with good investigation.
Well, I don't know what is working good in this country.
Yeah.
But you look on the sports, the reggae boy, I see them dealt to the reggae boy, I think it's very, very it's
disheartening.
Imagine two players come here, right? And the Minister of Health test the player them and found out that a couple of the Costa Rican players them have COVID-19, right?
Yes. Test positive. Yeah.
Test positive, yeah. And the people them test positive and won't allow them to leave and plus go play.
And beat we on top of it.
And what kind of system are work? What are working in this country? There's nothing is working in this country, you know.
That's a fair question, and I haven't heard the minister said it was being investigated, but I have not seen a report on how it came about. Because once you test positive, you're supposed to be in quarantine, and your quarantine can't be in any area that would give you access to your teammates or that you could end up on the bench and eligible for play.
When these things work like that now,
yeah.
After Stockton have the audacity to come and tell people say, he might go draw a stricter thing where people when a vaccinate, them can't this and them can't that. As if like say him have the thing under control and him have the thing run.
Yeah, that's a good point you're making. It does cast doubt on the integrity of what they do to us.
Hospital, you know, since him come in, you know.
That hasn't been. The project is still ongoing.
4 billion is 1,000 million, make a billion, you know. So that a fact. You see, boy, I don't know.
Yep, those are some big numbers.
One gentleman had said that you have something that is captioned sick buildings, and the best way to treat it is not to try to rehabilitate it, but to just
tear it down
and build a new thing. And so it's unfortunate in terms of the monies that have been expended so far.
And it's borrowed money.
That is long time them I hear that. That is them hear that before them start to do that. You understand? So certain place and you waste up so much of taxpayers' money with you and your contractor friend them and all everything there. You've been fired or you have to give account. You understand? You can't have a country around someone.
All right, sir. Thank you for those points.
All right.
Okay. Can't do much more with it in this context. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, my good lady.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning to you, Pastor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm giving thanks, for the greatest thing that, we are on top of the earth.
All right.
Yes.
That's what the farmer said.
Yes, man. You know what I really want to ask, about this going how things going with our little island here. But you know what? I read this morning in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, and it talks about prayer. Okay? Well, when he said when you pray for someone, you love them. But, you know, I want to clarify that more because, you know, if I pray to God and said, Father, you see how these people are handling and doing things to your children. What can you do to help us, Father? You know, I don't know if I love them because I know that love is not coming from my heart for them. Because these people are so crooked. You know, what they are manipulating in this little country towards people. And the people seems like they are under some evil spell. Because I think these people are mixed up so much with evil. Because the Bible speaks of it. And we are seeing it in our eyes. But I ask God to show me the way that we can speak and redeem our people from these savage. Because these people are nothing more than savage, you know, because you are not human when you handle things like that. You come and you stage things here and you stage things there. Okay, when I'm looking at the green thing, because I have to say the green thing, with green case, and, you know, the DPP really rule that there's no charge can put up against him. I don't know where she sits, where she's coming from, with this kind of a stupidity.
Well, she said there was no. She said there was no. She said there was no evidence.
Same thing that happened in England is happening here. But they ruled no charge.
She said there was
what
no.
What kind of injustice are they showing to people?
Can you listen, my brother?
Yeah, she said there was no evidence. If we look deeper into what she's saying, you can begin to consider the behavior that led to the thing being dismissed because there was no evidence to support the kind of charges that would be laid against him. And she ended by saying, since evidence ought to have been available from the hotel records, perhaps the police need to investigate the hotel. The issue in England is not so much a legal one as a moral one, and that is one of the differences between our situation, because Floyd Green accepted that what he did was wrong. Not criminal, but he said it was wrong. And he stated the basis on which it was wrong, which is the same basis that all of us believe it was wrong. But you see, he went ahead and he accepted an appointment, and the government appointed him and he accepted. So you now start to look at the integrity issues that underpin the performance of our public officers, not just how the DPP dealt with it.
Exactly, that's how it looks. That's very, very much true.
Yeah.
You see this little parish they call Westmoreland. That place, I can remember in the 80s, you know, when I was in Westmoreland, you know, I never see people living like that up to this present moment, you know. You know, because when I look from Sheffield to Savlamar, because I'm frequent on those roads. From Savlamar, that there was a project from Savlamar to Negril for that piece of road to be fixed, because it was so bad and so much politics go on about it. Even now from the bridge on Norman Mandy Boulevard to go all the way back to like Green Island, when the road supposed to be upgraded. It was so much chaos, and now Mr. Wallace now saying that the rumble strip that they put across in there, you know. But I don't see no problem with the strip. But
So
the road need to maintain.
Are you saying that Westmoreland was abused for so long and left to suffer in deplorable conditions with bad infrastructure and low opportunities, that they have now created their own society, and it's not a society built on righteousness and justice? That is the fruit that we're reaping now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a very relevant consideration, because and it's something you always see in the resort towns. You have the hotels and the lifestyle of the hotels, and then you have the locals living in some serious conditions of abject poverty and poor infrastructure, and the two things are rubbing shoulders, and eventually some upset is going to take place, because you're not gonna have children born into that situation accepting it as natural and accepting their low position as the station that they have to tolerate. I mean, I've seen it in other resort towns where eventually something unnatural takes place because survival is a compelling urge. But thank you, sir, for those insights that you've shared with us.
Yes, let us just bring back one last time.
Yes, please, because our station break is upon us.
Okay. There was a little thing about, I see the premise I was talking about with the police. People interfering with police. I never know that people could be triggering activity of the police, and he's saying that people is troubling, is interfering in the work of the police. I don't know how we come by that. And it's of people legal right. You can stop him from video.
Absolutely. So that makes little sense. And people need to record what the police is doing, because sometimes there's no record of the interaction with the police. When he gives the police cameras on their vests and then citizens can feel a little more comfortable.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. That's a very low blow by unruliness.
Well,
he's saying things that what the commissioner is supposed to say. He's taking up things. He's going on front to take all these charge. As he responds for not even the Minister of National Security didn't come and say what he said.
Yes, yeah. And that's why some people say that the leadership of law enforcement has become so political. You can't see the difference between policy and execution of policy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's hope he's listening and he will repent of those words. Thank you very much.
Okay. Have a good one now.
You too, brother.
My Jamaican people are so...
We'll be right back.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road. The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
This is my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM. Keep listening.
Make me your radio and turn me up when you feel low. This melody was meant for you. Sing along to my stereo.
Hey, my listening crew. This is your late afternoon companion to Chickaloo on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is on the ear with me, yours truly. A program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed. With the credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout-outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-538-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. We have a caller on the line. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning to you both and the rest of the team and the listeners.
Morning, Jigsaw. How you do?
Well, I want to say, well, it's a lovely day. Stop embracing. But I'm amused because we're talking about what the DPP said. Well, the key in one of the statements she made, I think I heard the majority of it, is that she was unable to, with the information presented to her.
She couldn't make a charge.
Evidence. She needs evidence.
She needs evidence.
Right. So now, why don't we go at the hotel to look after the carpet? Because only putting people are not there. Right? That makes me a business.
Well, you need a warrant.
You need the warrant or whatever document it might be for the records of who was in who entered or the person you are interested in or they entered. They need to act with the alacrity when they went for those two youngsters. I'm not so sure. I'm going to the house, call them out from out of them dead. They never had carpet.
She made the point. She made the point that what video footage was available didn't allow you to identify, to make an identification of the persons.
You have to do with the basic too, because you remember all this thing about this is the video cam, the operative in terms of accurate inference, evidence.
Yeah, the video that would have helped had been written over by the time the police made a proper request.
Me no trainers, no. But what the record entry? That's the basic thing. The record of entry, who entered there. All you have to do is take a photo shot of it, right? To start with.
Well, I think that is why she said. That is why that is. Jigsaw, that is why she directed the police to pursue that avenue investigating the hotel. But let's not get bogged down with the finer details of how a case is prepared for prosecution and so on. You have two things, you have something happening at two levels. In the area of enforcement and administration of justice, we would never want a DPP that is prepared to respond to public outcry and fabricate a case without evidence. Because if she does it for him, she will do it against us. So we have to be faithful to the observance of these rules of procedure and the importance of evidence. But at the same time, we have a minister who admitted that he was wrong. He was morally wrong in the conduct that he pursued. Yet he has gone ahead to accept the promotion and to step back into the position without... it's some of the things that frankly, I couldn't do. I couldn't do.
What I needed to do was to video the wink. And there's a wink going on.
The video the wink?
The wink. Yeah, a nod and a wink. So the question is, are we prepared to accept that way of doing business? Someone said the British Prime Minister is under great pressure because of the moral pressure and the outcry that has been raised against him. He may end up having to resign. I mean, he has resisted it so far, but the more him resist it, the more strident people become.
Yeah. If you try to put and function in public, I don't have no sympathy. Cry or no cry, there's no sympathy. Because even if you make a puppetry going on, you have time to move fast that. Establish your...
Yeah, I mean, someone online here says that experiencing any relief is a fleeting illusion until the government clean up their own acts of corruption within their circles. All the measures put in place.
I'm not persuaded by what's going on.
Yeah.
Stupidness.
The staging of events. All right, my brother.
And I get up behind it.
All right, Jigsaw. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning, wonderful people.
Good morning, Neville. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Looking up in my mango tree over Portmore here. See some lovely mangoes.
What is it, East Indian or Julie or Bombay? Which one?
Julie mango and Yeri mango.
Aye, all right.
You know that?
Yes,
I sell mango. Good morning to your listeners and your valuable callers. You know I sell mangoes every year, though. And pay my property tax over here.
Oh, that either your property tax isn't much or you have a lot of mangoes. Which is it?
Well, the property tax of property in Portmore, where I live in Independence City, is 5,300 every year.
Oh, I envy you.
And then you sell the mangoes and you pay the property
Yes,
tax.
that absolutely can work.
But Pastor,
I'm here. Go ahead.
You said me come to you and ask you a question as a pastor. I come for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God, here.
So me in a court of law now.
Pastor,
Yes,
Pastor, the Bible must fulfill.
Yes, man.
That me we not see nothing yet.
We haven't begun.
You hear what Joe Biden tell Vladimir Putin this morning? Last night him tell him, and they broadcast it this morning.
What him say?
Him say if they invade Ukraine, they're going to blow up the pipeline that Europe is, that Russia sending into Europe.
Okay.
They're going to blow it up.
Okay.
You say the police looking for him?
Good strategy.
Even the
You say the police looking for the threat that Biden made to Putin?
No.
Are you saying the Interpol and the police looking for all those big guns that Putin sends us around Ukraine?
No.
So these people, what kind of example them I set to people in the world? Them can do what them want to do, and other people just take it and through them name politician and them run the place with them big guns.
Well, that is an appropriate response if you're contemplating war.
Oh, so war is part of the fulfillment of the Bible.
Of course.
Pastor.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, and civil unrest
It's
within the country is
countries.
part of it too.
And earthquakes and things in diverse places. It's
And the politics to determine who get what, when,
Yes.
where, and how is part of it too.
All a part of it. But there are still instructions for those who want to follow a certain path.
Yeah.
Always instructions.
Well, hear this now.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, if you look on your calendar this month,
Yes.
it have 4 Sunday, 4 Monday, 4 Tuesday, 4 Wednesday, 4 Thursday, and 4 Friday, and 4 Saturday.
That is for February.
Yeah, it only happen every 823 years, yeah?
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
It is called a miracle in.
Okay.
So we are in a time of our life where we're not seeing nothing yet. You know that the average parliamentarian in our parliament, when they do 10 years, they get a livable pension. Those who are at the backbench, you know what is their pension till them dead? Minimum?
No, what is it? What they
Between 180 to 250,000 a month till them dead. Once them do 2 terms as a parliamentarian.
But you know, all those things can change. Just like how they changed it to make it into that. You can change it.
You see the common man like me?
Yes.
You don't get that.
9 out of 10 we do have no pension. So the older we get is the poorer we get.
The poorer we become and the more at risk.
Yeah,
Well,
and more at risk.
Well, you can have the expectation that Senator Webby has made it a commitment to see that there is some form of insurance in place for people who at a certain income level.
So the
does that
inequity
comfort
that
you?
is among us, the inequity that is among us, Miss Minett.
Yes.
We have to change that inequity.
Yes,
Are we in agreement about that?
We do.
Yeah.
Miss Minett, you know, all we talk about the murder rate too high, you see?
Mm-hmm.
You know that our divorce rate is 3 times our murder rate every year.
No.
The woman no want a poor black man here.
I've never looked at the statistics.
I have to go look at that and then come back. But I know that the rates of divorce have increased, yeah, in both the church and outside.
But it tends to
And what
track.
is the main grounds of research? What is the main grounds of research in your church, Pastor?
But it tends to track the greater empowerment of women and an increase in the earning power of women.
You think
it all come right back down to dollars and cents. And as me tell you yesterday, said the minted money on the ground that they call M1 money is not enough to go around. You know what is the average NIS pension like what my mother getting at 79?
Well, $2,000
$8,000 a month.
I know some people who get even less.
She never have a strong boy picking them around her and she not paying rent. How she would have managed at 79?
Well, you know, when I was a child, I always heard that the children are the parents' pension.
But you think anybody can rely on children now to become their pension?
Well, I know.
You'll be living in a fool's paradise if you think that.
Yeah, but I'm making the point that it was always so. There was no pension for black people.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
so this
I
is
hear
not
that too.
Yeah.
You know what is the Prime Minister's pension till him dead?
Yes, you have said it a few
In
times.
salary that him getting now till him dead. And you see when him dead, if him dead before him wife,
his wife
she going get his pension till she dead.
All right, my brother.
You know that Michael man, the wife is getting his pension now until she dead. Michael man, you know that?
Yes.
Yeah,
and the truth of the matter is, I am not against the family of persons who have served at the level of prime minister and certain high offices. I'm not against them staying above the poverty line. I think
So what about we?
We should be above it too. So I don't think that we address the problem by pulling them down. We address the problem by lifting ourselves up.
No, but you need more equity on the ground.
Yes, and those are the initiatives that have to be addressed. I mean, here we were talking earlier about the government looking to borrow money to put in a broadband network that we had set up a fund that should have put it in at the cost of the contributions made by carriers. So, but few people know.
So why is it that they can't announce the raising of the minimum wage to $15,000 today?
Well, and so those are the things that we press for. We don't really press for them to be reduced.
And why is it that they can't pay off the police force, just draw a check and pay them today, so that they get the raise up here and they stop quarreling with the system?
Let's change the people there, so the ones we put there can do the right thing. All right, Neville, I have another call, and you're asking some tough questions.
It's all about us here.
Yes, well, I know that. That's why I speak the way I do.
Take care.
You too, brother. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, my sister.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, and night. How you do?
I'm good as usual, man.
You're good.
Yeah, man. A gentleman spoke out a couple of calls ago, was talking about the vetting.
Yes, of the police, the candidates for service in the force.
And the military and other such people. But when you have a society, you see, sometimes we point fingers on other people in the society, and we're not really looking at the society what we really have, When you have a society that is has changed so far that this kind of corruption is not only at the top of the society, and we fail to understand that corruption is from the bottom to the top of the society.
I don't think we fail to understand it. I think we fail to take action
against it. That is the point. We all understand it and see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you hear people talk about the government must do this, and the police must do that, and what about what they are doing? Because listen, I live in a community, and a simple thing like garbage truck come very regular, and as soon as the garbage truck gone, probably a couple of hours, you see people are going to throw their garbage all about the place. If you look on the only thing, there's corruption,
Yeah. Civil disobedience.
So we as Jamaicans must look into ourselves and realize that. So when they come in the community, after they ask people to vet a youngster that they know is what to join the police force. Some of the same people might give the man them bad information, Why you all right, man? Give the youth a try, man. This blind culture that we have. Give the youth a blind, man. You know that the youth is a youth a youth of unquestionable character. But you must give him a blind. Give him a blind, man. Give him a blind, everybody. It's a blind thing. It's a blind country we live in. You drive on the road and you see a man drive on the sidewalk. Right? And you stop letting me in the traffic and all that type of thing there.
Well,
we're not turn up in nose and wrongdoing in this country. That's why the country stays up.
So that is
I will blaming authority, I will blaming this, I will blaming politicians, I will blaming ourselves.
So the zero tolerance should become a personal commitment, not just what you expect to see.
Everybody, and integrity is doing the right thing when nobody
when no one is looking. Yeah.
And we don't have that in this country. Far too many of us have lack of integrity. Far too many of us. And if we don't correct that, where we can get the politician from and the police from?
Yeah,
we run the country.
Yeah, they come out of our bodies.
No, we produce them.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, in that, and which is the point that you hear myself, or you hear Minett making, that we have to begin with the individual on the ground.
Become the change that we want to see.
So as you talk about the black culture, we have to change it, because I was relating an incident and my friend when I was in Price Mart one day, and she was saying, I said, but that can't work. It increases people to become angry at each other, and if I had persisted, probably fight would have broke out in a Price Mart. But
you go somewhere you join a line.
Yes.
Sometimes a man will buy me a little laptop, and you join the line, you see a man come at the side of the line. And it will come before you. And if you know, everybody, well, I just want to give him a blind man. Give him a blind man. Give him a blind man.
Yeah, man. You know what we're talking about. So the change has to begin there, and we are in 100% agreement with what you are saying.
So until I see people making a change, I'm not going to blame the politician more than so, you know. I'm blaming this, I'm blaming that, because look at England. Look at England right there. Look at that Boris. Look at the president that Boris and the Prime Minister of England is under. You think our leaders then can't do anything like that and come under any pressure?
Well, the first thing they did was exempt themselves from the ambit of the regulations.
And we allow them to do that because we will have we probably if we're in the same position, we do the same thing too.
Yeah, so.
That's why we're not saying nothing, you know, because we if you give us a safe position, probably our worse.
Yeah, so the absence of integrity is at all levels.
Personal integrity is important, yeah.
Yeah, man, we have to start to preach integrity and responsibility in this country.
True.
All right,
and
brother.
If we don't get that right, we don't get nothing right.
True.
And we come out and talk about this, and we must take the beam out of our eye first before. You know that meat can tell a man 100% certain that not even a bus ticket me no chop on the road, not even icy mean paper me no chop on the road.
Well, I can say the same.
Not even that I don't do, and I grow my kids and my grandchildren them not to do nothing like that. Don't live on the road. Don't do nothing like that.
Yeah. You throw it there, somebody has to pick it up.
But when you talk to somebody and tell them that them say, boy, if you don't do that, the body, nobody's not getting the work. You have somebody to imply to do that. There's all them local culture that we have to change all them type of things. We need a lot of work to do in this country.
All right, let's start with us. I love that sentiment.
Start with us.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for sharing with us.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Pastor Percival, you wanted to clarify something.
Yeah, I was making a point about the John Hopkins report. Did some further checks. It's a report, but they have said it's a working paper, and it was done by economists and not epidemiologists. And so that kind of qualifies what they have said. So just put that out there that people understand what it was saying. So it's not a John Hopkins. It's people who work at John Hopkins, but it's not a John Hopkins, like you'd say a UA.
It's not a medical report.
It's not an economic report.
But don't you give some value to what the economists are saying?
Yes, man, they must, because they are thinking about the impact on persons and so on.
And they can analyze trends and look at statistics and review reports just as any other intelligent person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I believe a lot of people on the ground them saying this it's not working for me.
So when you say follow the science, there are multiple scientific disciplines that are involved.
Yes, and the epidemiology,
economics of it. In fact, many people think that it's the economics of a pandemic that drive the protocols.
Yeah.
You want to make money from vaccinations, from selling all the support gear and so on. And there's a point at which that begins to drive the decision making, and the medical science is lost. Today, Michael Abrahams is calling for humility in COVID-19. I love it the way I love it when I see the social commentary beginning to track what we know to be right and true. now that we see the truth coming out concerning the dangers, the pros and cons, those of us who were saying it from day one don't need to be spending too much time gloating and crowing over how right we were.
How do we move forward?
We just need to get on with the business of correcting the path and moving forward. And so he says, regardless of our views, beliefs, and narratives, it is in the best interest of humanity to be honest at this time. And to be honest requires humility when we are proven wrong. There is no shame in that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abrams.
I don't know if in there he acknowledges that he was wrong, because he started off on one point, and I've watched him work his way
with the science
right
emerging.
over to informed consent, to natural immunity having a certain value, to all of the additional strategies that ought to be used to boost person's immune system. Until now, he's saying that along with the vaccines, there are some other things which people ought to be doing, and human arrogance and selfishness needs to take a back seat and let humility and honesty step forward so we can actually do better by one another. I love it that he's able to do it, and better yet that the Gleaner has printed it.
But what I find fascinating with this whole thing is there has been so much censorship of persons who have said, but there's a different way of looking at it. Not only locally, but internationally, in Europe and so on. And it has been so bad that they've gone after people's medical license and their ability to practice to earn their bread. And that's so unfortunate, because we know that in science, you put a hypothesis and you test it and you prove it and move forward. A simple thing like when we said the earth was flat.
Well, remember, we had one caller who said that it is the sun that moves around the earth, because the Bible says so. And
I'm not understanding it.
I read in Psalm the other day about the sun completing its circuit. And I said, that is the foundation of...
from what he said, yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Percy, how are you, man?
I am good.
Yeah, look, you ever hear this song, it was gone by the man in Cancun, good evening?
Is it a song or it's a saying? I know it's a saying.
It's a song, gone by the man in Cancun, good evening. Oh,
I see, the producer seems to know it too.
Right. Morning, Chef. Where you say now? What you saying today?
Yeah, man. Look here, when we really take certain situation, I know our home run. And and when you check it out, some get out of line. Let me tell you something before we start coming from me. When I was a young youth going through, you see, young youth leave school and then we can really, like Saturday daytime, we can really, and we learn trade. We take Saturday daytime for ourselves, and go show after midday, and,
midday matinee.
So, yeah. So, I can recall, as a youth, you say, boy, you go by the rule, Go to a show, and the show was showing how the cowboy put up in fence and have they called him in on the line. And the cook man, them come every minute and pull it down. So, when I tell him, get to the man's son, he said, Daddy, if they come back, what do we do? He said, son, if I see them, I will tell them not to do it anymore. Yes, sir. And the friends, and go on till, when the man come back again after and put it up, the man have to take drastic measurement, man. And all of us in the show was saying, damn right, that's good for them,
Justice.
And,
Justice, you felt they deserved it. They had earned some stiff measures.
Yeah, so I say this to say this, whenever a person govern a country, you have to, each and every one who, well, boy, you say the right thing. You must read, people must really go towards and from here saying the right thing, endorse it. And when we look over the years, this capitalists will come in at Jamaica, and the people them fall who don't have it, begin to grudge this man when see a progress and all those things. As we bring to this gentleman, we have been few little cow, and when you check it out,
the future people are seeing, but because maybe he's striving, bright as a bright star. So, me around him, take it away. And that take while out too. We should be our brother's keeper.
Which is correct.
We don't do that, Percy. Me I don't tell you the dog in near me supper.
Yeah, but that's
and
true.
when you see man out there, come tell you about informer feeding. Another thing, you know where that come from? After the head, Okay. And it's where trickle along right too. Because for us, people never know, so they could have them after when things go along. They might go out there one ram goat to the yard and take a turkey from them. I say, Rich, me no see where in here, so right now, when we live in a Manchester, where a person can't be one goat in the yard as ram goat when he come and leave the time and they did it.
Yeah.
The thief, them come
Somebody
there and take it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this to say that, my brother, we must all come together because when I really check it out, you see all this COVID business there where some people, if you not take it, don't repeat and tell them that because I know of a certain place right now where about 30 odd people working. And some not take it. And you know what, it was discouraged there now. So my youth, them have to leave them work and say, boy, they now go back there until when the people vaccinate. And we should all come together because we know there's a disease all over the globe. And we don't check it that way. And then I say, boy, you are man free to do what I have to do. Since I say now do that, and we must look in ourselves and say, boy, it kill people. And because of my stiff naked, I not do it. No, we not say that. Because I know how much people kill.
All right, my brother. Can you?
Family in my
Sheppy, can you?
And she never leave. Never leave her house.
Sheppy, can you wait while we take the station break? I got the signal. We're right in.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Youths, are you stressed? Are you faced with trauma? Well, this is the program for you. Join Royton McLaren for Youth Resilience and Empowerment every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on Best 100.5 FM.
Easy! Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station. Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
He's coming back. Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Best 100 FM. It's redemption time. I'm standing firm.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
All right, Chippy, just wrap up here quickly fast. We have another caller waiting, please.
Yeah, man. First, let me tell you something. We have a democratic system in this country here. And the way we do it, if I don't want to vote you out. You know, comparade and contact as a tax rules and come talk to boy, we have to take over. You can't say anything there. Because some people are ignorant. And maybe if you go say something we don't like, you know what, that can we can't.
When you say we have to take over, you're meaning in terms of taking responsibility for ourselves for our lives and what we need to do?
Or you see
Yeah,
it as a
look here,
military
we have a
coup.
democratic system.
No, but
Like, and if you know, if you know what this government, we vote him out over the years.
okay, so but hold on, Sheppy. What we are saying is, people need to take responsibility for their lives and their local situations in terms of the things that they can control.
Yeah.
Like you talk about your family. So as a father, I have to make sure that my family is taken care of, that I'm passing on the right values to them, so they learn to think critically. So that's what we are saying, you know. We're not talking about coup or overthrow. We're not talking about that. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
The last time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Me hear what owners have done there. They said the driver, the shop, the barkeeper, and others out there. You will have to pay them because the road have to keep, and they have the light bill to pay, they have their rent to pay,
right?
And some are gonna get 50,000. I mean, here man say police radio here say they no forget it.
Okay, so that's his opinion.
And that is not right, because if the man get a little money for foreign, and he's trying to really hungry man is a hungry man.
Yes.
And then when you try to start to feel that need, nobody not supposed to say, boy, I do the right thing. Because if a person need it, because you open a shop and you can't open it.
Yeah, but
and when you check it out, you have to pay this big rent.
So that was
you have to pay this big light bill. How you go up, how the person say, go, just look for your needs and tell this boy, I'm going to assist you. You should look for it and say, boy, that is a man with a heart.
All right, Sheppy.
All right, so
we're going to take the other call now. And you're right. They shouldn't begrudge a man assistance. You should be fighting for more people to get assistance.
That's correct. I'm in agreement here. Thanks. Good. Welcome, caller. How are you today? This morning?
Good morning, not bad.
Okay, how you do, Santa?
Well, I'm good enough, man. Me just glad say under the pan radio for Sheppy, because I must feel better. Without you can't talk pan radio.
Really?
Are you serious?
Who shut down Sheppy's freedom of expression?
Yeah, well, him and Jerry no see eye to eye.
Okay, that's all right.
Because I always accuse Jerry.
Okay.
We don't know where two of them have.
Well, if he start to cuss us, we might treat him the same way.
Okay, but we'll not do that.
But yes.
Are you respect, you know? Anyway,
yes, sir.
What me I call about now?
Yeah.
Why black people fit poor celebration in the short month?
Oh, you're asking why is it that but we'd spoken about that, you know.
I didn't hear.
No, man, the guy who came up with it, they were doing it independently.
What are the four, by the way, that you're talking about?
One is a white one, by the way. The red and white clothes thing.
Oh, you mean Valentine's?
Valentine, which I don't celebrate anymore.
You don't love people? You don't love the ladies? I thought you were a lover of the ladies. What's happened to you?
Valentine is not lover of lady.
Okay, all right.
So there's Valentine's Day. What are the other three?
Black History Month, Reggae Month, and there's a Bob Marley celebration.
But Bob Marley's is because his birthday.
Yeah, the Bob Marley celebration and Reggae Month are closely aligned because they wanted to celebrate Reggae Month in the month of Bob Marley's birthday.
That, but look,
but how does it affect you? Tell me how it affects you.
One of the main things I used to celebrate in this month was Black History Month, and it seemed like somebody's trying to cut it out.
So how does it affect you, these four things in 1 month?
It's too much, because you hardly hear anything about Black History Month again.
Because the three of the things celebrate black people and music, and they are uniquely Jamaican, two of them.
That's what I'm saying. Then we should move the Black History Month to another month then.
Well, I tell you what, I think you can celebrate it and curate an event during any month that you choose, and I'm sure you will get the support. I think there is something that's going to be celebrated in April.
That's Rastafarian.
Yes. So you'll see some other things happening, I believe.
No, my main concern, is Black History Month. You're not hearing anything like, 10, 15 years ago about like the history where black people is coming from, what used to happen to them. It used to come even on the TV. You don't see anything like that again.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
we are trying to do the best we can.
And Black History Month was borrowed from the US. So it's not really, we didn't set it to be so. We were just going along with something that is already so. Are you saying you can start a move to which month would you like to see it in? Some have said July.
Well, it doesn't matter. Any month away from February.
All right,
okay.
then.
All right, brother. I hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Is there another call on the line? Okay.
Of note, though, just so that we know, the NIR,
yeah,
declined by 493 million in January versus the end of December. So in December it was 3.5. So it's down to about 3 billion. Well, they need to know because it speaks to NIR is the amount of weeks of imports. It can make 49 weeks. So it means that you do have money to trade. That's what it means. Yeah, when we talk about that, the amount of money that you can trade with your neighbors to bring in imports.
So we'll get credit and owe interest.
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Minett and Pastor Percy.
Good morning.
My gosh, God is real, Pastor.
Yes, he's very much
real.
Know? Yes.
Pastor, God is real. That's how real God is. That you can see him right in front of you because he's a spirit and he's also everything in oneness with that energy of life. Can't you analyze that identity to correct all these illusion, confusion, destruction, searching for solution? Oh God,
and the solution, I'm not going to call it darkness anymore. Call it light, because the entrance of the word brings light to our path. So what are you sharing today with us, light?
What is it, Pastor? What is darkness anymore?
No, man. You are light because you have entered into the light. And with the entrance of light, the darkness is dispelled. So that's what I'm living in now. Yeah, man.
Imagine.
Yes.
Just take away everything. Just imagine, take away everything from your mind.
Yes.
All the creation of existence.
Yes.
It must leave the maker. And you better know the maker identity.
Right.
To acknowledge it. It's going to leave the darkness only. The darkness alone stands still within itself of its creation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, hold on.
Fathom that in your event and try to know so them come to your soul.
Okay, but hold on.
To your soul.
If you're not going to allow me to talk, I'm going to cut you off. Because we were talking about dialogue.
So you can't do anything you want to do, Pastor.
All right, but what I'm saying to you, you are talking about darkness. And I'm saying to you, the entrance of God into my life brings light. And where there's light, it dispels darkness. You believe
you
that?
know the identity of God.
Hold on. But me
you
tell
can't
you.
say anything.
But I know the identity of God. He has revealed himself.
What is the identity of God?
The person of Jesus Christ. That's what I believe.
All right, let me tell you the identity of God.
Yes.
You see where you're there right now,
yes.
and where everybody will listen to this radio at this moment, at this time.
Yes.
My first existence, coming into the first existence of it, admire nature and communicating with natural nature. That is the image of your reflection of yourself is a shadow, and that shadow with light is throughout the universe in oneness, in the womb of the existence.
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point that I'm making.
My point cannot miss because it's right in front of you. You have to acknowledge the point.
No, but I've acknowledged it.
To the point.
No, all right. So we thank you. So
the chains are taken off of your hands and feet, but mentally them are come to your brain and off a track.
All right.
Technology.
So they're not going to do that.
The energy to out that where them go inner space to capture, to carry to earth. That energy.
Okay.
You want me to tell you what it is?
What?
You want me to tell you what that energy is?
Yes.
All right. That energy is the sunlight energy of radiation.
Okay.
Electronic energy of radiation.
Yeah, but
magnetic energy. That energy them put and captured in the satellite and carry to earth. So more one energy in that. And that energy when it comes to earth, you look at phone where you have.
now go hold you anymore, Pastor, because the man must step up, them they are 5 now, them are go 7, them are go 9, them are go 11, them are go straight up and more energy. That you answer them there. I go mash up your brain energy, mash up your brain mind, wipe out creation and bring in the technology for artificial intelligent robot where I get you now. They are there.
All right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
1,000 people. Listen to me and learn knowledge.
Thank you. You know what is interesting, and we keep saying, let's have a dialogue. You come and I'm saying to him, he's stuck on darkness, but I'm walking in the light. And the entrance of God's word brings light to my life, my existence. Minette, that's why in the beginning God said, what was the first thing you do? You separated the darkness.
Let there be light.
Let there be light. Because he lives in the light. And if I live in his lightness, I'm walking in the light. I'm interested.
Taki asked if that caller is a religious dictator.
I don't know, but I'm just
difficult to communicate
and I
with
think
him
what has
when he
happened
gets
to
like
him
that.
is that, too much knowledge can make you unbalanced in regards
in
to
your perspective.
Yes.
Somebody says, tell darkness that we're gone from pint to quart now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a call online, I believe.
Do we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're always aiming to kind of make sense out of
what he's saying, and I'm just simply
Today
saying.
was particularly difficult. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Pastor? Miss Minett, how are you doing this morning?
We're well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm listening to Darkness a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of what he's saying, I understand what he's saying.
Of course he does.
I understand what darkness is saying, but I'm saying to darkness.
Yeah, what about the technology thing that he's talking about?
No, I understand that, and I'm exposed to the material in terms of what there is. But I'm saying, okay, we know that is so, but then how are with the knowledge we're gonna have? How are we going to prevent or guard ourselves against what people are trying to do to us with the technology? So we have to fortify our minds and learn how to navigate what is there. That's what I'm simply saying to him.
All right, that call went.
But important things. Knowledge is important, but the knowledge is supposed to bring light and supposed to help us to guide us to how we navigate. When we are caught, we become fearful in regards to what it is going to do to us. So I encourage us. Information is about you getting wisdom and understanding. That's what it is about.
Yeah, and also for the benefit of those who listen and who call, if we can't have a dialogue, it's difficult to just, kind of sit and be preached at. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning to you both.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying every time I just tune in,
Yeah.
And every time I hear darkness talk and how you people react, it's like, and I hear like when you say why he's unbalanced and like he's a madman. But that's what them say about professor told them call our professor madman. and again, I hear you say you see that wait for me and ask me the question how we get through those things. Because all of them things that we see are going right now, even yesterday, hear them talk about how them are going to deal with the people, Them are going to have them like under bandit. No chain, but brain wise.
You're talking.
Because them are planted, like them are planted move out of where we inherit. I'm going to go look somewhere else and then take where we inherit and
listen, from the start of this show, we have exhibited great patience in making sure we are understanding what he's saying, because he's not speaking nonsense, but it's a conversation. And I'm glad when callers are beginning to understand it, because in the initial stages, not a lot of tolerance was being shown to how he expresses himself. But if we can't have a conversation, then it makes little sense.
No, it's like even though me hear them I say, them hear Marianne all attack and them I say, boy, who if a church that a way and a criticize the lady.
Well, we're not taking it. We're not taking it any further than how we are able to communicate with darkness. He's been calling the show from the start, and I think Pastor is within his rights to express a view.
People want to when you're not stopping, you come like a cover up.
Oh, we are not covering up. No, my brother.
No, but they will not stop the people from here.
No, hold on.
Everything.
No, wait. Hold, brother, hold on. No, we are having a conversation. We are having a dialogue. He makes a point. I'm responding with something else, but he doesn't want us to have a conversation.
No, man. In at that thing, you know, it's when you have the spirit, you know, old man.
Oh,
But you know, the people you have to wait, and then when you come now, you ask the question.
No.
Well, I hope you don't think we're cutting you off, but we thank you for showing some love and support to darkness.
That's the thing, man. We always think, man, from the stuff.
All right.
All right,
good.
then. Good. Thank you for calling.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning, Miss Minett and Percival.
Good morning, sir.
I just love how you treat in the darkness now, to his reasoning and reality, you know. Tell me about this and where we can find it.
Yes.
Mr. Percy, how long you have been in Christian by learning about that? Eh?
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't. No.
What's the question?
Talk about this God. Listen to me. Try understand what I say. We're coming through a mental oppression system that trap our mindset, not when the truth about life.
But darkness, in all fairness, when you call throughout the week and you say the same things and we're unable to have a dialogue with you, how do you expect the conversation to go? Because we're not just here to let you speak until you're tired and you stop. We try to have dialogue with callers. How we communicate with you? Because you just want to talk, and when you finish and we say thank you, you're gone. How do we learn anything from what you're saying when you don't want to converse? You just want to speak.
Mr. Percy, take him and change.
He's trying to change your identity.
Yeah, it can change my identity.
I never said that. Darkness.
Existent.
Yeah, you say you want to change him from darkness to light.
No, it change. So when I tell me someone call me light, instead I'm laying.
Yeah, but you can reject that. But you can. But darkness, you can reject it. You can just reject that and continue. You can just reject that suggestion and continue because you know who you are. He has a particular perspective. He says it. We can speak.
No problem with that, but yeah, him having team identity also. So when you know team identity, we come as one. That means that the system can't overthrow it because we're coming from the root. Our identity.
Okay.
That is right thrown in. That is the spirit of the maker existence. That is the darkness is the shadow where shadow the universe with our light through the universe in oneness.
All right, darkness. Thank
All right,
you.
my brother. Thank you. Thank you for calling back and
Thank you.
explaining. That should help with the callers who were worried for you. Thanks very much. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning again.
Good morning, sir.
Man, this man have the right name, man. Darkness, man.
They passed the wrong fear, try to change up things. That's
no,
what
man,
they say.
darkness, man. I'm right name him off, man. Darkness, because his whole idea is him talking about 5G and all them things. Let the people them who listen to him see continue in them darkness and talk about 5. It's because them saying it's 5G doing this to your brain and all them type of nonsense that we're talking about.
Well, it's not all nonsense.
It's not all. No.
I am saying this without and contribute. Anybody who want to contribute, me can say.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, him is talking a lot of nonsense. Him listen to some little thing and him understand some little thing, but him a mix up, man. How can nonsense him attack, man?
Yeah,
what
some
he's
of-
saying
some
has
of it
no
is
scientific,
some
no
of
scientific
it-
hearing, and not like that.
some
But
of
he
it
like
is-
that.
yeah.
You have the right name.
Some of it
Darkness,
is
man,
not
darkness.
scientific, but the idea of artificial intelligence being an existential crisis for man, it has been discussed multiple times by many scientists. But thank you, my brother. I know he's
But you
not
must remember, I know,
discussing it
in
as a
time gone by
scientist.
when the revolution started, we call it revolution started. Men were so what you call it now?
Paranoid, afraid.
Fearful of what would take place, you know. When we had tractors, to dig hole and all them things,
Industrial
and when
revolution.
this place out for workers, you have machine to cut cane and all them type of thing. And we don't see like this same way, man.
Yes, but you know there's a path to getting the citizens to feel comfortable and to understand it better. But thank you for shedding some light on that.
A man mustn't come and come talk and believe so what he's saying. You know, it have a lot of merit. You must listen to, because him not listen. Him don't want to listen to what nobody is saying.
Yeah.
Right? Him just want to just come and have a monologue.
Mhm.
And that can't work. You have
No,
to, you have
well,
to
I
listen to
reject
what
that.
he's saying.
Well, I reject that.
That's
So
what
I
we're
reject
saying.
that. So
That's what we've been saying.
just as how we
Yeah,
reject pastors' name change.
Yeah, man.
I reject being lectured to quite that way. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Is there a caller on the line? There was? Okay.
Yeah, but there and a lot of us have access to the internet now, and people know that there was a recent crisis in aviation in the States in terms of the switching
5G.
over the 5G in terms of air traffic, and there was a backing and forthing, and they says, but other countries have switched to 5G, but they say the US in terms of their implementation were not where it should be. So there's a lot of fear in terms of the impact it would have in terms of navigation and so on. But it's a $13.2 trillion
Industry.
yeah
Mm.
by 2035.
Well, you see, much as we are talking about digital literacy, promoting digital literacy, people have to understand the technology in order to be at
Yeah.
peace with it and take decisions on how far they want to go. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, Citizen Line.
Good morning,
Pastor.
sir.
Morning, sir.
Okay, our next request again. Can you, Neville and Paras, can you make sure when them talking, you give my extra 5 minutes? Call me, ask me to request that, because this is a program of learning, sharing information, and highlighting things. So when we have the people who being realistic and being real and careful, care for the country, we need to give them some more time.
Well, the truth of the matter is,
normally try to, you
we
know.
try to, and when we don't have a caller who's been waiting for a while, we extend all the courtesies, but we also have to be mindful of how long other persons wait. So
Yeah,
it's a
all right,
balancing
thank you.
act that we.
But even 1 minute extra.
Yeah.
All right, my question, all right.
Yes.
My problem is with this policeman now. Over the years, I kind of follow the Suka with the child abuse and child molestation, etc., etc. And I noticed, I remember a lady in Tivoli, she was her mother reprimand her and she picked out her child. I don't know if she threw the child after an hour, but within less than a week she was at jail. And it's something I noticed with a certain type of people when it comes to children. So I always tell my friend and say, listen, motor cars, women, get in a big trouble and people say, keep far and no where I do. And the question is, I have a daughter, she's actually 22 at the university now. She was away and she did 2 years at university. I remember when I used to get my time off, she was staying with her grandmother and grandfather, so we work. My baby at the time worked at Mutual Life, so there's certain times I come off her and I babysit. And I always tell my friend them, when I babysit my daughter and I'm in the living room sleeping, she will creep in her room And I always give her 10 seconds or 20, never 30. And I go behind her. I remember we were washing the car, both cars, me, and I put her in the stroller, strap her down, and she's in the driveway. I wash the vehicle, and she was there crying. I say, so leave vehicle, take her inside. The question is, the police force, the intelligent body of the police force supposed to have the most highest thinker in the force. So you're keen on your thinking. You tell me now, me is done, and I make sure me not hit with my daughter. How is it that you left your daughter in her car, you're supposed to drop her? You left her, regardless if she's sleeping or not. But the question I'm asking now, you're a baby mother, you're a wife, and no point at the time you're a baby mother call and say, oh, Suzette doing or Sandra doing, or was she? Did she crying when you were taking her to work? Or was it at no point at time? That's impossible for me. And if it was, I notice I am not a biased person. Once poor people do things, jail. Nzinga, you don't hear nothing, you don't hear the Prime Minister say anything, the Commissioner of Police, they'll write Chuck Water, but just said nothing about it. So you them way stand up and get locked up because they can't have bus, nothing. The guy at me charge. The woman them
may I interject? May I interject? We talk a lot about justice and equity, and we know that means persons in similar situations getting the same treatment before the law. But we also understand the supremacy of the rule of law and the presumption of innocence, which applies in anything that looks like a criminal case, right? The one challenge I have is that this thing has happened and there is no action that has been taken to cause us to believe that anything looking like a normal investigation is taking place. That's the one difficulty I have. But I do understand, and you should too, that if you were ever in any kind of trouble, you would want the police to give you the benefit of the doubt as they are investigating. And however improbable it might be that you are innocent of criminal conduct, you would want the benefit of that. So this is one of those very difficult balancing acts that you have to do. And you can't say, well, because they didn't do anything for Nzinga promptly, they need to do something for this police, because that too is corruption. So let's try and follow the argument with address it with some level of discernment, because we are still crying out for fair treatment. And persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but charges can be laid, action can be taken while you are going through the processes. And that's the only thing that I see missing from this situation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. But what I'm saying, Minett.
Yes.
How is it that poor people are so unfortunate? They are so unfortunate that them sick, so them that. In other words, look at the man.
Nobody believes it's coincidental or it's a misfortune.
Ritz Cafe where there's a party, and you find the guy $20,000. The manager for Ritz Cafe, 20,000. You charge the girl, the people are making 200,000. You charge the guy them there, they are making.
But those things just show you. Those things just show you that the system is rotten, and the right response is not to ask for one other person to be penalized.
As I said, it's a country. It's for Andrew Willis and PJ Patterson and these people. It's PJ Patterson. Andrew Willis' life is better than mine.
No, we know that it isn't.
All of us life work the same thing.
We agree with you.
We know that it isn't, but we have to be seen to do the things to make that change.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Going think faster. Look how much people dying. Look how much people dead. If you have somebody there, let me tell you something.
My brother, we've gone past the station break. We've gone past the point of the station break. If you can hold.
Have a wonderful.
All right, my brother. Yes.
We'll be right back.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
It's my station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Bess FM, keep listening.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the caller online. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Africa love my sister.
Africa
Morning,
love.
my brother. How you do?
Not too bad, Bongo per se. But we know that even the dumb, the wise, and the foolish, they all have their say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that callers, and I'm calling onto the callers, that they must realize that there's a limited amount of time for a caller to express their feelings and their opinions.
Their ideas, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we want to get as much callers as we can within the 6 to 10 time. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of documentation all over the internet in concern of what Brother Darkness is saying.
5G, they can go to PubMed.
Yes.
TMC Labs, yeah.
And yes, and then people can get to those documents because the internet is there.
Yes.
And they can review from what is placed there. Because this is not something that Darkness create off him own.
Not at all.
This is something what Darkness read about. You can see that it's a deep study. You know what I mean? And, you know, what he's saying is highly interested to some of us. But I don't like when anyone try to belittle a caller for a caller talk.
Nor do I.
You know, I don't like that. That is not helping us. That is not putting us together.
That's true.
We can't criticize callers. We must try to help callers, right? So that a true message can go through for one to understand what one is doing. You know what I mean? If you notice me, you know, sister and brother, me a man, me just talk, and me have a lot of things can say, you know, but the time don't permit me to
That's
try
correct.
to, you know what I mean? And the next thing, the greatest listener learn the most.
That's true.
And if a caller going to call and him is not going to listen to what the item have to say to what he's saying, then one should understand that
There's going to be a full stop there.
Yes, and that's really my challenge with him sometimes. Sometimes he allows, but I think he took offense early in the conversation and then it didn't get better.
Otherwise, I personally respect him as a great caller. Him have a great point.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me?
Yes, sir.
But what I believe he should do is to tell the people, like when him call, where they can go and get these informations.
It's PubMed Central. You just click in PubMed Central and they are...
Yeah. But you know, we love him, we love darkness because that's where the light came from, through darkness.
True. All right. Yeah.
Yes, we can't despise darkness.
Well, you know for sure that I don't. You know we don't. You know that we don't, my brother.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't even go that way with the eye, Mrs. Slack.
All right, then.
I am just trying to facilitate the callers.
Yes.
Don't bother criticize.
Don't be too impatient.
Discredit and thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all is in the same pot.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
All right, Frank.
I appreciate it. Yes.
Listen.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hi, greetings. My name is Ras Asta Black.
Yay.
Hey,
How you do,
Rasta
Rasta?
Black.
How you
This
do?
is a famous name.
I'm good, man.
Boy.
I've been wanting to introduce myself to both of you for a long time. Now I got through. The line has always been too busy.
Wow, we hear that all the time. But
Well,
good to hear from you, man.
yes,
Speak
and
your truth. And we
this-
talk to you offline. You can leave your number.
And this is a good time because we are focusing on some issues that I know would be of interest to you.
I tell you, today I am at school, age 6 to 12.
Yes.
Speaking on politics.
Okay.
After your program.
Yes.
And politics is such an important thing in our island today and worldwide, but today especially in Jamaica. I had an issue with an attorney on probate and some property to create a school for the arts. And it took 7.5 years.
Wow.
And then he decided to run as a politician. And I said to myself, this bedroom is not too cool to represent anybody in Jamaica. If he's holding down a school, as a matter of fact, the school was in the name of the Honorable Robert Nestor
Marley.
And because of the length of time, he held it down. And all he needed to do is to pay the stamp duty on the probate, which we had him do for the property. And I say, I'm going to run then. Because if he can put up himself for representational politics, I can do it too. So I ran as an independent.
Absolutely. I remember that. Seeing you on the ticket.
Jamaica Alliance Movement.
Yes.
And, Rastafari and non-Rastafari and everyone supported the idea. And a Rastaman came up with the idea of running a political party called Marcus Garvey Political Party, and just put and quote the whole movement, because people look at me because I'm a Rastafari. They look at it as a Rastafari movement to change the spectrum of Jamaica politics. And I want to just come in and quote that movement. So when I listen to even the caller before me, he was in Maypen, campaigning, and he's supposed to be a Rastaman, campaigning against a Rastaman. So that most cool games, not true? And then, your program is perfect. Don't let no one dictate. Cut off people who you think, like Bongo Jerry do, when they're talking rubbish, cut them off. I limit their call. Don't let no one dictate how you run the program. I love it. I listen to you loyally. Rastafari, I love.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the call.
Thanks for the call.
I'll hold on so you can get my number.
Yes. Okay. That is that's a beautiful call.
Yeah.
And I know too that he has some responsibility for my even coming on this station, because he was listening to the show here and heard Dr. Moiston asked about carousel, and he got word to me that there was a need to say something. So we have a connection.
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember it because he heard something and he took action. And it is what we are asking everybody to do.
Take
to
action.
some extent,
Do
take
something with what
action.
you know.
When you hear something that you know requires the right thinking people to take action. All right, we're in the final moments of the show. And
I'm requesting a song.
Oh, good.
Where did we lose our identity?
We have to talk about identity. One of our callers has said we should have a conversation about it. Of course, when we started the show, Mr. Hoylett, we started looking at the issue of identity and cultural identity with a foundation of confidence that would cause us to shake off the things that continue to, hamstring us in exercising true autonomy and self-direction. I thank everyone who has participated. I love it that callers had something to say about what happened with Darkness. Darkness is an enigma, but he is a part of us. And we've got to seek to understand who we are and how we express ourselves. And I am not one to denigrate anyone because their way of expression might not be at the same level as mine. But I do want to have conversation, and I want other callers to get an understanding of what is being said. So thank you for those who called to support him and those who called to say, don't put up with the foolishness. It is in the mix of contending voices that you get the right solution. Mr. Engineer, Mr. Producer, thank you, both of you. All of you look at me in my warm clothes, and I know it is a bit of a mystery, but I expect my temperature control to be back in good order in the morning. Pastor Percival, as always, thank you. Thank you for keeping us on point with the declarations that we've spoken over our country. We cannot. It is with our voice that we confess and declare things, and that is change. That is what sparks the creative power. Even as you said, the light came out of darkness because everything was dark until the word was spoken, which changed everything. So we're speaking words to change everything, and
for change, real change, lasting change, sustainable change. And my favorite word is
love,
but also for the thriving of our nation,
flourishing.
For the flourishing of our nation. Everybody need to flourish. That was God's intent and will for man, that man would indeed flourish as the high point of the created order.
Those persons online, thank you, Taki. I love that closing thing. Let me just read it. He says every caller is important, and it's all good to hear, but being a bully is not the way. There's always something to learn from each other. However, you see, all in that brief comment, you have all the contending points. But you know what? We are spiritual people, so we find our way through it. Have a wonderful day. What is the song that you requested, Percy?
Identity, Mighty Diamonds.
Mighty Diamonds. So, all right. Have a great day, everyone.